market conduct rules and the post-authorization guidelines. In its post-authorization directives, brokers shall not buy or sell foreign exchange for their own account, nor hold, borrow or lend foreign exchange to an authorized market participant or deal directly with corporate entities. Instead, their role is confined to acting as intermediaries between banks in the interbank forex market. Additionally, the BOG underscored the need for FX brokers to establish robust systems to counter cyber threats and maintain accurate quoting of exchange rates. This warning reflects the central bank's commitment to fostering transparency, ensuring stability and enforcing compliance within Ghana's forex market.
You heard Citi Business News' Neti Ajaho with that report. Now, some economic analysts have pointed out that the proposed renegotiation of Ghana's deal with the International Monetary Fund is a step in the right direction. President-elect John Dramani Mahama has pledged to review and adjust Ghana's existing agreement with development partners to align with the country's current needs. Now, speaking to Citi Business News development economist Professor Patrick Isumin said that a new government would be better off extending the program given the current state of the economy.
I am actually very supportive of rediscussing some of the items. Not that the goals of the program will change, but some of the choices that we've made. For instance, especially when it comes to the fiscal consolidation side, I think the current government's decision to focus more on raising more revenues, and in particular on using new tax handles. And I expect that this incoming government will move away from bringing new tax handles and focus more on addressing the fundamental issues in our revenue. But I also expect that any discussion will also include potentially extending the program beyond the current duration.
That's development economist and finance lecturer at the University of Ghana Business School, Professor Patrick Isumin. Now, financial analyst Joe Jackson has disagreed with President Akufo-Addo's assertion that Ghana's economy is not broke and that it is back on track. He notes that these claims are overly optimistic and detached from the economic realities confronting the nation. President Akufo-Addo, in his last State of the Nation address, said he was leaving behind a resilient and robust economy for the incoming administration. But Joe Jackson tells Citi Business News the government may not want to admit the current economic struggles, adding that more needs to be done to resolve Ghana's economic situation.
Ghana is broke, right? And broke cannot be remedied by just international reserves. Please, I thought this was the government that said if the fundamentals are wrong, the exchange rate will betray you. Yes, where's the exchange rate? Where's the inflation rate? Where are interest rates? Where is the unemployment rate? By our definition, if you are paid and at the end of the month you still have to borrow to consume, not borrow to undertake infrastructure, borrow to consume, in my books you are broke. Let's also be clear, the reserve situation is good. The gold for reserves, gold for oil program has improved our reserves dramatically over this year. What happened this year is that we undertook the gold for reserves, gold for oil program. And even though the execution was ambiguous, even though we may have had problems with the execution, I give them full credit for the gold for oil program. And I urge the incoming administration to look at it carefully.
That was Chief Executive Officer of Dalex Finance and financial analyst Joe Jackson. Now, World Bank Vice President for West and Central Africa, Osman Diagana, will from today begin a 5-day working visit to Ghana. He will be engaging the incoming Mahama administration on development priorities and deepening collaboration. Discussions will also focus on aligning World Bank support with Ghana's sustainability and economic growth goals. The visit includes a courtesy call on the President-elect John Dramani Mahama, his inauguration, meetings on the Kumasi Urban Mobility Accessibility Project, and a tour of the renovated Kwame Nkrumah Memorial Park funded by the World Bank. Now, the World Bank currently manages a $4.84 billion active portfolio in Ghana across 25 projects in critical sectors of the economy. Moving on, the government has recorded another oversubscription in the sale of its short-term debt instrument. Now, according to the latest auction results from the Bank of Ghana, the government mobilized 5.4 billion Ghana cedis through its most recent Treasury bill issuance, surpassing its target of 4.3 billion Ghana cedis.
Government's recent auction exceeded its target by 1.04 billion Ghana cedis, representing an oversubscription of 25.58%. The data indicates that investor appetite was strongest for the 91-day Treasury bill, which attracted 3.5 billion Ghana cedis. Additionally, 604 million Ghana cedis and 1.2 billion Ghana cedis from the 182-day and 364-day bills were also accepted respectively. Yields across all tenors continue to remain elevated, with interest rates averaging between 28 and 30%. The 91-day bill saw its yield rise by 15 basis points to 28.19%, while the 182-day bill surged by 23 basis points to 28.91%. The yield on the 364-day bill edged up by 8 basis points to 30.15%. Looking ahead, the Treasury is set to raise 5.1 billion Ghana cedis in the next T-bill auction. But what is accounting for this oversubscription? Wilson Zilibu is an economic and fixed income analyst with DataBank.
There has been some kind of renewed investor confidence in the market, especially as the new administration prepares to take over power from the outgoing government. The total uptake was around 5.4 billion. Out of that, 1.2 billion was directed towards the 364-day bill, which sort of shows that investor confidence are growing towards the longer dated securities in the money markets, which sort of signals willingness to invest for longer term and also reinforces the notion of further confidence. So basically, improved confidence on the market has led to the oversubscription.
Wilson Zilevu is an economic and fixed income analyst with DataBank, ending that report by Netili Neti Ajahu. Now, market analysts in the energy sector are urging the Ghana government to bolster its partnership with Tullow Oil PLC following the company's recent victory over the Ghana Revenue Authority in a $320 million tax dispute. One of such analysts is Dr. Yusuf Suleiman, who maintains that Ghana's petroleum upstream sector is heavily reliant on Tullow Oil's output. He tells Citi Business News the importance of enhanced cooperation to safeguard the country's interest and ensure steady contributions to its oil revenue growth.
I know it was a gray area in which Ghana wanted to test. It would have been good if they had won it. But of course, I thought I was just certain that this ruling will not go to Ghana's favor because of the petroleum agreement that we signed with the Deepwater Tunnel and then the Cape 3 Points with respect to this tax. Because we were seeking to get some remit, some tax from whatever that they are repatriating. In some jurisdictions it is done, but you have to encapsulate that within the agreement time, which I think wasn't done. So it was left like a gray area which Ghana wanted to explore. So going forward, I think it's a win-win for Ghana, Tullow, and I'm saying that because Tullow needed that money so much. If you look at their operations in these recent times, Tullow is facing a lot of challenges. So two fronts that is going to be beneficial, Tullow and Ghana. I always mention Tullow and Ghana because our upstream is Tullow. Without Tullow, we're going to earn peanuts because ENI, the amount they churn out is not that much. So if Tullow operation should be successful, it will cascade to positive taxes, it will cascade to positive positive returns to Ghana government.
Energy strategist Dr. Yusuf Suleimana ending the breakfast edition of Citi Business News. But before I go, let me take you to the Forex market, where the dollar is going for 15 cedis 90 pesos. The British pound selling at 19 cedis 80 pesos. That of the euro could be sold to you at 16 cedis 80 pesos. A reminder that these are the rates being offered by the Forex bureaus to the general public. The bulletin was proudly brought to you by EcoBank, MTN and Goel. You can visit our website citinewsroom.com/business for more on our top stories. My name is Neela Tilati. I wish you a good business day.
Every day, people have money emergencies. Ma, I need my school fees. Mommy, chop money. Crash it. Mommy, rent. Emergency. Now, there's a new emergency number in town. More money, Charlie, and enjoyment. At the top life we got. Dial star 770 hash for money emergencies and chop life.
For emergency access to your bank accounts, transfers, utility payments, loans, and more. Dial star 770 hash. Bank on the go even without data with EcoBank's short code for digital banking. EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
L to the A to the L to the A. Normally I be good person. What's it happen? Big question.
And that was Neil Latte with City Business News, brought to you by Go Good Energy. Ideal choice for most vehicles. It's flowing across the country. Just go fuel up your vehicle and enjoy a smooth ride with all the benefits. Go Super XP's quality gives you the correct choice when buying regular fuel. It's fortified with a special additive that gives longevity to your engine, makes your engine perform to the max using minimal fuel, and it is suitable for most vehicles. Go Super XP, good energy in our idea. The business news was also brought to you by EcoBank. EcoBank says don't be scammed this festive season. Be alert because fraudulent activities have been on the high with the ultimate aim of stealing your money. Folks are asking you to divulge sensitive information such as your password, your PIN, your card information, etc. Don't fall for that. People will be posing as staff with the impression of helping you link your Ghana card to their bank account or offer unsolicited assistance. Do not fall for that either. Report any suspicious SMS, email or phone calls to the EcoBank Contact Center. Delete such messages at once. When in doubt or you feel insecure, call EcoBank Contact Center on 0800 00 3225. It's a toll-free number.
Now you they juggle me up and down. Tell me waiting they happen now.
And we are in for kickoff already. Banana Bakery is in the studio ready to serve you with all that has been happening in the world of sports. Kickoff is brought to you by Zonda Ghana Limited, your one-stop shop for quality trucks like Shantou bulldozers, excavators, graders, payloaders, rollers, power pickups, TX trucks and oil tanks, all made and assembled right here in Ghana. At Zonda Ghana Limited, we do not only create opportunities, we provide you top-notch after-sales service for all your heavy and light-duty and machinery needs. 7 branches across the country. Find us. Head office off the Tema Plow Road, close to the Free Zones Enclave Tema. Call us 050-177-2222, 050-177-3333. Zonda, building Ghana.
Tell me waiting they happen now.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show. The city's biggest conversation.
And Bernardo Bakery joins us with kickoff Aze.
Big man.
Afishapa.
Afisisene aseo.
Atase.
Big time.
Baby Akodo on the move. Charlie was in the sports.
Well, it's interesting to know reactions that transpired at Anfield yesterday.
The form that he is in at the moment. Hoyland in the middle here, he's got Ahmad too. And Ahmad scores for Manchester United!
With Amad Diallo striking very late in the game as Manchester United made a mockery of their recent form to hold leaders Liverpool to a thrilling 2-2 draw at Anfield last night. Review of match week 20 coming up for you in the next 10 minutes plus action from the Ghana Premier League. Some tennis news as well right here on Kickoff on 97.3 Citi FM. Many thanks for joining me. I am Bernard Baker. Thanks to Shelby Power, Zonda GH and Polytank Ghana helping us to bring you very close or much closer to all the updates from the world of sports. Let's get into it now. We begin with some women's football, and with just some months to go for the Women's African Cup of Nations, the Black Queens have lost its head coach to Zambia's Copper Queens. The Football Association of Zambia officially named Nora Hudla as the head coach of the Copper Queens, signing a 3-year deal, succeeding Bruce Mwape, who has been reassigned to focus on developmental programs. Now, according to the Ghana Football Association, throughout her 2 years with the team, Hudla's salary and accommodations were fully funded by the association. The Ghana Football Association further added that in anticipation of her contract ending on December 31, 2024, the Ghana Football Association initiated renewal discussions with Hudla in June 2024, but no significant results from both parties, leading to her departure to Zambia's Copper Queens. To the league of our roots, the Ghana Premier League, and Kwame Poku scored again in Kotoko's 1-1 draw against Mediama at the TNA Park in Takwa. Kotoko, who were looking to extend their run of 4 successive wins, took the lead on the stroke of halftime through forward Kwame Opoku. The goal was Opoku's second in as many games since his return to the club. Here's Prosper Natogum, the head coach of the Porcupines, after the game.
I think we played well. We had more obvious goal scoring opportunities to score. We contained them, especially in the first half, and then the second half to try to get them on the counter, which on a few occasions we were able to get them, create some decent chances to score, but then we couldn't score. So I think if you ask me, I mean, we had more obvious goal scoring opportunities to score, and it's not a true reflection of the scoreline. We should have at least won this game.
You heard from Dr. Prosper Nateogum, who is the head coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Young Apostles FC secured a vital 2-0 home victory over Karela United. Vision FC continued their impressive debut Premier League campaign with a slim 1-0 win over Insotraman FC. Abdul Rauf Sulemana, his early goal in the 6th minutes proved decisive as Vision now occupies 10th place. In Doma, Solomon Ajay's 75th minute strike and FC Samatex 1996 a hard-fought 1-0 victory over Adriana FC. Our Nations FC moved up to 3rd in the table after a dominant 3-1 victory against Basake Holy Stars at home. Captain Razak Simpson gave Nations FC an early lead in the 7th minute, and winger Faisal Shawote added a second earlier in the second half. In form, Accra had to folk beat Legon Cities by a 0-0 in their first Premier League match of 2025. Midfielder Ramsey Youssef's solo effort just before the interval was the difference between the two sides. We hear from the winning coach Abubakar Ouattara.
We have the good team. He's fighting. When somebody are fighting, it's not easy. And you know, we're fighting because of the pressure of this match. Everything can, because every match as of are playing now is pressure match. Well, it's normal when you lost in the 50-50 ball, because one team have big determination to save his head, and we I don't know what I say, but I say when the opponent team are fighting his position, you need to fight him to get the point. Why we didn't fight in the first half? We didn't do two fighting. We let them play, created the chances, but fortunately they didn't get the chance to score. And that's the football.
You heard from Accra's Fox head coach Abubakar Ouattara. Now, Bibiani Gold Stars reignited their title ambitions with a 2-0 victory over Brecum Chelsea at the Danks Park. Let's now take you to Cape Coast for some updates from the GUSA games. It started on the 3rd and it will end on the 18th of January, happening at the University of Cape Coast. 16 tertiary institutions are in Cape Coast for the 28th edition of the games and will compete in 12 disciplines, with the opening ceremony scheduled to take place today at the new examination center. In the women's football, we had 5 games taking place yesterday. The University of Ghana women's football team and a hard-fought 2-1 win against host the University of Cape Coast in an exciting encounter at the Robert Mensah Stadium. Winger Eva Amwako emerged as the hero, sealing the victory with a decisive goal in the dying embers of the game. In the men's football, GCTU will play UDS later today, and UMATA up against Amistad. UHAS face University of Ghana, Gimpa play K and UST. UESD take on Unimark, and UTAS will play UPS UCC up against UNAM. Well, let's bring you some more updates in the world of sport, especially at Anfield. Now, Manchester United demonstrated the spirit that has been missing under new manager Ruben Amorim to earn a superb point at Premier League leaders Liverpool. United attempting to avoid 4 straight league defeats for the first time since 1979 took a short lead when Lisandro Martinez powered a finished high pass Alisson after 52 minutes. Here's Bruno Fernandes, United's skipper.
Well, Bruno, this Man United team has been widely criticised and, to be honest, completely written off before today. How about that for a response?
No, obviously criticised unfairly because the position in the table says that we lost too many points. Even today, we can't be happy with the draw because we need points more than they need, to be honest. And obviously, I think it's a really good result. We could have even won the game at the end. But I think it's a fair result. I think both teams played a really good football, intense, some good chances from both sides. But we can't be satisfied, to be honest. And I'm pretty upset because if we show this today here at Anfield against Liverpool, that is first in the league, that is being probably the outstanding team in the Premier League this season. Why we can't do this every week? And it frustrates me for first because I think. Finally, I did a proper performance overall, and I think we need to be aware. And we said it before the game. We need much more from ourselves to get something from this season. We need to put some pride out because it ain't enough for us.
Bruno Fernandes, Manchester United's captain Mohamed Salah equaled Thierry Henry's tally of 175 Premier League goals from the penalty spot, but was not enough to give Liverpool all 3 points against United. Here's what Liverpool skipper Virgil van Dijk had to say.
Obviously, I think if you don't win, it's always an opportunity missed. I think we have to be absolutely honest with each other. It could have been a lot worse if the last chance goes in. I think you game with a lot of emotions. 1-0 down, obviously a great comeback going 2-1 up. Then we have to control the game much better. I think we're still sloppy. Then we were losing the ball in a difficult situation where we were more open, and I think to concede the second one was very disappointed how easy.
Erling Haaland scored twice in the Premier League for the first time in over 3 months as Manchester City hammered West Ham to equal their biggest win of the season. Chelsea's winless Premier League run extended to 4 games after Jean-Philippe Mateta struck late to salvage a draw for Crystal Palace at the Selhurst Park. We have one more game later tonight at 8 p.m. at the Molineux. Is Wolves up against Nottingham Forest. And that will be all for the latest in the world of sports. There's more later on TV, on Channel 1 TV. Thanks to Shell V Power, Zonda GH, and Polytank Ghana. Papa Nuni, many thanks for doing the listening. I am Bernard Baker. Sports is live. Get involved.
Charlie, you know that mining contract I've been chasing for years? I just got awarded the deal. But the issue is where to get the right and quality heavy duty trucks to execute this job here in Ghana.
Relax, my guy. Remember my recent construction deal at Pokwase? Zonda sorted me out.
Zonda? What? Who is that?
Zonda Tech Ghana Limited is your one-stop shop for machinery, heavy and light duty trucks and pickups. They have the Shantui bulldozers, graders, payloaders, rollers, poor pickups, 4 land light trucks, TX trucks, and oil tanks, made and assembled right here in Ghana with top-notch after-sales service and standard prices.
Made in Ghana. This is amazing.
You haven't seen my Zonda Power pickup, which I take to the office. Strong, durable, and tough on our roads.
Hey, that's from Zonda too?
Absolutely. Zonda is the right place for you, my guy.
Oh, now I am sorted with Zonda. Zonda Tech Ghana Limited, your solution for heavy and light-duty trucks. Located at Tema, off the Flower Road. Call 0501-772-222 or 0501-773-333. Zonda, built in Ghana, building Ghana.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Sankofa fufrabo, pepper powder, bekwa ojawo. Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder, Sankofa pepper powder. Etienga won go peta near Potoyoa. Sankofa got you covered. Go for Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Abuna bunu abonje krakra. Sankofa pepper powder. Red and hot, very natural. Sankofa pepper powder. Chichinga and Nambia. Sankofa pepper powder. Noodles, Ghana jollo. Sankofa pepper powder. Esisia nete. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder. Sankofa pepper powder.
I am Wahinere Gifty Auntie. You see, it always feels good when you receive that salary alert. I made a bold decision to invest a lump sum into the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan, and this means that I will get these alerts every month throughout retirement for the rest of my life. You too can retire on your own terms or invest a lump sum in the Old Mutual Retirement Salary Plan today and receive a monthly income for the perfect retirement. Call Old Mutual on 050-453-4333 or visit www.oldmutual.com.gh to sign up today. Obrapa Ahotonkwa.
Old Mutual. Do great things every day.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes.
Channel 1 TV. Telling your story, empowering change.
The festive season is here. You know what that means. Groceries, bills, and so many unplanned expenses. But don't panic. There's a cool new feature on Haptel you have to know about. It's called Pay Small Small. Yes, like the name says, Pay Small Small. It's Ghana's first widely and instantly available buy now, Pay Small Small service. With Pay Small Small, you can buy food, groceries, airtime, and pay all your bills without paying the full amount upfront. So this festive season, you're sorted. Pay a small fraction of what you're buying now and spread the rest into 3 weekly payments. All you need is your Ghana card to activate it and you're set. It's the perfect solution to keep your pockets in check this festive season and beyond. So don't wait. Go to your Haptel app now and choose Pay Small Small as your payment option. Haptel is everything you.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Some from a wife, Joyce.
Hey, what is it?
Sweet. Honey. Honey. Sweet memory. Dead girl. Dead girl. Dead girl. Joyson. 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 Sam Refie. Bessa Fufra. Make a fire. Waka German. Ya mama. Minya.
The City Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
City 97.3. More variety.
.36. It's Monday, the 6th day of January, and even though some things that are significant start in a very benign way. It's not everything that will make a big impact that starts with a big bang. For example, Christ was born in a manger, and you'd have thought, the man who was to save the world would be born under more prestigious circumstances. When I was much younger, I always wanted to start the year on a big bang. So I wanted to do something big to show that the year will be good. So like I'll come on air with some big vimbi, to convince myself that the thing was going to be a new year, And those days I'll even go to 31st night service, and then when it's like 11:59, we'll be doing praises. We shout and enter the new year. And I realized that, Charlie, those things, it doesn't really matter. You can have a very powerful thing start in a very normal way, Now that's not to say the way you start is not important, but I feel like we have overrated the gusto and the energy of a good start. Because motivation gets you started, but discipline gets you going. So I feel like it's more important to program my mind for the discipline required to execute 2025. More than the energy of saying, hey, this year me resort, me nimonyam, resort, me kunimde, all those things that we do when the year starts. I went to Living Streams for their crossover service. It was nice, but I didn't really. And maybe I'm growing old. I feel like I need to be more reflective. I need to take my time because there's something they call IGG.
Initial grant.
Charlie, when I went to business school in 2008. Sky, in 2008, I went to business school. There were 72 of us in the class, 17 Indians. I was the only Ghanaian. Charlie, the first month, hey, Charlie, I left school 2004, so I was a bit slow. Charlie, even at some point, they had done the syllabus before we came. In the question, there's some particular Indian guy. Every question they answer. My Nigerian person said, it's IGG. And I said, what is it? It's initial grant. Don't worry. And it was right. By the time we got to December,
when you go to the second
water found this level. So I think sometimes people will scare you with their initial gragra. So I'm not saying don't make resolutions or don't start the year right too. But I think 2025 will be a great year depending on the discipline we apply to it. It doesn't really depend on how excited the start is or how exciting the start is. Because in those years, when I'm coming on there for the first time in the year, I'll come with a new song, some new things. I don't have anything new to offer. But I'm just going to be disciplined because it's more important to follow through than to start right. Now, we'll do Effective Living series. It will be great. We'll start on Wednesday. We have a very, very solid team that's been thinking through some very interesting topics. The bounce of a new year cannot be underrated, and we recognize that. But I'm just saying, some of the greatest things we've seen in the world did not start with a big noise. In fact, when you start with noise, a lot of times you end with a whimper, But whereas on the other hand, you can start something very like people who invent things. You can start it. It's difficult. Nobody's respecting it. When we started this media house, we didn't make a lot of noise. It wasn't. You don't start it with a lot of big adverts, billboards and things. You start by sort of simulating the programming, getting the team right, practicing a lot of times. For the first year, you will not even get invited to cover any event. But look at where we are today. You were here 2005 and 6. So I just want to say that's my new wisdom for the year. I'm not
downplaying the relevance of a big start, but I feel it's more important to commit to discipline. So let's talk by March and see where we are. Let's look at April. Let's look at June. All right. It's not about coming to do some wild things in January and then by February you bola. We're not going to do that. So again, what will make 2025 a great year is consistency. Consistency in execution. Consistency in execution. Yes, there must be clarity in planning, but I think consistency in execution is more important because yes, you plan and you are clear on what you want to achieve. All right, your target is realistic. You know what you want to do. It's realistic. It is achievable and time bound. But I have learned that the real problem we have is continuity. It's continuing what we know to be good to do. All right, so let's talk about exercise. People start the year and they walk. They do the treadmill. They eat healthy. They read self-help books and they do all of that. And then by May, Charlie, everything collapses. So I'm programming my mind. I'm telling myself this year is going to be a long year. So for example, the economic turnaround we are hoping to see to require a lot of hard work. I have to change my investment habits. I have to be prepared to sacrifice some things to gain what I want. The confidence that the financial sector wants, it won't happen automatically. So there's a new government. A lot of my friends in the investment community say 2024 is a very difficult year because following the 2022 financial crisis, economic crisis, and of course the debt exchange, people lost confidence in putting money in the financial institutions. So people are buying land, people are buying dollars, people are buying goods, they are starting farms. People don't want to put money apart from treasury bills.
They're doing physical.
Yes. So a lot of people say they needed a new government to restore confidence. All right. And that, and you've done a bit of confidence. That works, right? Usually when there's a new government, optimism, business outlook. If for example, when you speak to business leaders in November, they're like, oh, things are tough, but we hope things will get better in January.
Yeah.
So there's a new government. Once he starts making his appointments and they see some light, they'll start investing. Okay. But what I just want to say is that it takes time. It takes at least a year because, for example, the currency has started stabilizing. You need time. That's why you shouldn't come after 100 days and say you've arrested the city and put it in the jail, because it's more long term. It's a structural issue. So again, with your life, your own investment choices, and even with the economy, structural change is like a glacier. I did a bit of geography, right?
Yeah.
So a glacier moves probably 0.05 millimeters per second, but after 10 years it moved a lot.
It leaves behind significant landforms.
So that's the way change takes place. But we are conditioned to see change as earthquake, volcano. All right?
Even volcano takes time to erupt.
Like Muhammad has come, he has a point. Currency must. We need to be realistic in our expectations for the year, and we need to know that even with our personal life, it takes a lot of time for change to happen. So conditioning your mind for the long-term change is very, very important. So that's my personal reflection for the year. So I want to encourage people, all right? And let me give you a last example. I was talking to a friend yesterday who said he has I think 4 or 5 kids, and one of his kids wasn't that sharp, all right? So his grade point was a bit low, so he was around 1.8, and then the others were all like in the top 10 of their class. But he says after like 4 or 5 years, he sees that the curve of the boy is going up. So he's realized that you don't say, hey, everybody's first, why are you not in the first 10? Every child has a different growth curve. And what he's happy with is that the guy is improving. He's not at 4.0 yet, around 2 point something. But if you look at where he's come from,
it's progress.
Now I'm saying if you can see your child's improvement from that 4 year, you should look at your own business too. You should look at your own life. You can look at your country like that. It's very important for us to have that sense of perspective when it comes to change. So that's my theory of change. I don't know what your expectation for the year is. You can share with me 054 9986 996. At 8 o'clock, we'll bring you taking social media trends. But Sky, what are your own reflections for the year? Are you I don't know, you are busy as well. All right. What kind of year are you expecting in 2025?
Well, I worry most about the many opportunities that we have squandered as a nation, and I am only hoping that this year will provide us with the opportunity to be able to seize opportunities and make good use of them. That would mean myself and people in my space. I say so because I believe that if all of us are empowered, the pressure on many of us will ease. If all of us have something meaningful doing, then what it means is that the challenge that comes with being at the top would slow down, because young men graduating from school, very little to do, earning 1,000 or so Ghana cedis a month, you have all kinds of problems coming in from all angles. There are those who do not have anything doing at all because the economy hasn't developed that much to find something useful for them. What it means is that the few in the family who are earning are pressured to do all kinds of things. And I am hoping that a new government providing a new direction, hopefully, would create the right kind of environment and space for people to be able to reach their fullest potential. And with that, that will ease the pressure on many other people who are dying young. They are going through all kinds of things. The pressures are coming left, right, and center. There are people who are buying all kinds of medication for their parents. People buying all kinds of things for people they know and they love. And some of these pressures, if you're not careful, it can get to you. So that is one thing. Of course, we would expect that leadership will show leadership in the sense of ensuring that, look, the confidence that has been reposed in the leadership of this country would be, would be repaid in a truly magnanimous way. And I use the word magnanimous for a good reason, because the people of Ghana did not go to line up to vote just because they wanted you to drive a big car. There is a certain expectation, a certain investment they hope you would make in their life. And let us not squander that opportunity, because we saw that with the outgoing administration, and we are hoping that the new government coming in would not misuse the opportunity. Ghana is the only country that we have.
So you are talking about government being responsible, responsive, realizing the situation we are in, and they should govern accordingly.
Exactly.
With equanimity, more like that's the word I was looking for. So the political leaders should understand that we are in a difficult time, and the euphoria of the electoral victory should be translated into some very sober decisions which will inure to the benefit of people.
Yeah, all of us.
So that transition must be made. So once Mahama is sworn in tomorrow, the euphoria of we've won should move to what is the task ahead.
Yes.
I like this, which is why I was also making reference to structural issues, because you can do populist things for people to be happy. I'll give you an example. I think in 2010 globally, a lot of the right-wing parties won because of populist policies. So Brexit was an example where they played on structural problems in the West. They said, oh, UK, you are not getting work to do. Migrants are taking your job. We believe that if you vote to move out of UK, Europe,
solve our problem.
So they were just political, and they were voted in 10 years after Brexit or whatever. They haven't really benefited. So now they've been voted out. So you need to be more strategic and long-term in your governance. You may win elections with populist promises, but you can't run an economy with populist policies. Let me repeat that. You may win an election with a populist promise. A promise is easy to make. You can say, oh, let's vote out, let's come out of Europe, and the migrants from Africa and Poland and co, they will stop taking your jobs. That's a populist position to take. But now that you are governing, all your business say, look, the Polish guys are strong, the African guys are hardworking, and we pay less for them. The work they do, your people won't do it. So whilst you've won the election playing on the fears of people, and I'm using UK as a convenient example, you can't govern because the company say no. So even Trump, he may, and again, if you look at Trump, I was listening to a lecture from your school, Oxford, And he said something very significant. One of the professors said, when it comes to Trump and other politicians, she said, take them seriously but not literally.
Okay.
So what they say is that if they say they'll do something, distinguish between the feasibility of what they say they would do and its practicality on the ground. All right. And I think it's a very interesting point to make. So we must urge people to wrap up what Sky is saying. The new government must govern with a realistic view of things, not in a populist way. You can win an election with any promise, but you must govern with more sobriety. Now, I'm going to do something before I bring Caleb's view on this. It's 10 minutes to 8. So I just want to give you a quick overview of Parliament. So based on the High Court granting the mandamus application of the MPP, the Electoral Commission was directed to finish its work in Okankwe Central, Tema Central, and Techiman South. They've done that, and we have respectively had Patrick Buama for Okankwe Central, Charles Forson for Tema Central, and Martin Ajemensa Konsa for Techiman South, all declared winners. So the NPP now has, from our calculation, 88 parliamentary seats confirmed. Prior to this, Domi Kwabinya was declared for Eliklim Faustin Akrugu of the NDC. So the NDC now has 183. We already have 4 independent candidates. So the one outstanding seat is Ablekuma North. So the parliamentary outlook is 88 MPP, 183 NDC, 4 independent. Now the man leading the MPP's charge in the courts, he originally led the team for the mandamus. There was a joinder attempt by the NDC which was refused, but then the NDC went to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said the High Court should allow the joinder, and they were heard, but the mandamus was granted nonetheless. 3 of the 4 have been sorted out. Ablekuma North is still outstanding, but we do understand that the NDC has also filed or given indication of filing an appeal,
notice of appeal,
a notice of appeal for the mandamus which was granted, right?
Yeah.
So basically NDC is saying that they are going to a higher court, I suppose,
which is the Court of Appeal,
to appeal the High Court's decision to allow the mandamus that the MPP filed.
Yeah.
Good. Let's speak to Gary Mako of the MPP and understand where we are with these matters. We'll do it one by one. Mr. Nimaku, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Abler. How are you?
Happy New Year. We haven't spoken this year.
Yes, it's true. Happy New Year to you too.
You've been busy. You didn't have Christmas. You were, every time I saw you, you were filing something in some court.
Extremely. I'm still busy. You are not out of the woods yet. I'm still busy.
Thanks for talking to us. So my understanding of where we are is that the mandamus application you originally filed, which the NDC went to court initially to say they wanted to be a part of, a new High Court was given the mandate to do this. It was granted. 3 out of the 4 have been done by the EC in terms of finishing the collation. So Okankwe Central, Tema Central, Techiman South. What is the situation with Ablekuma North, and why hasn't it been done?
Well, good morning to you. Good morning to your choice listeners. The indication I have is that yesterday they did it, but it wasn't complete. But then I'm told that the EC were going to sit down to take a decision and come back, because you have to verify some of the pink sheets that are being given to them by the MPP candidates.
So it's more administrative. It's not like there's any legal impediment to Ablekuma North. It's more getting
it's more administrative matter. Yeah,
wonderful.
That's my understanding. Yeah.
Good. Now the NDC gave us indication that they have filed a notice to appeal the judgment of the High Court, and we understand lawyer Dujitamaklo initiated processes at the registry on the day the mandamus was granted. Are you aware of this as MPP?
No, please. You have not been served with any process.
Does it matter if you are, in terms of the way these things work? Does an appeal have to be filed on notice, or it can be done ex parte?
An appeal does not operate as a stay.
even though we are told that they have also filed for an injunction of some sort within a stay of execution as part of the appeal process.
They only filed an injunction. I'm not aware about what this thing you are talking about. Maybe have you cited a copy of any injunction which has been filed anywhere and has it been granted by any court?
No, as from where I sit, I cannot say, but that's the indication I have from them.
So I don't know. As I speak to you, I'm not even in Accra. I'm in Koforidua. I'm about to enter the Koforidua High Court to do another case here. So
what is okay? So let's wrap up Accra and go to Koforidua. So for Accra, as far as you are concerned, Charles Forson, Patrick Buama, and Martina Jemesa Konsa have been duly declared. They've won. They are MPs elect for the constituencies, and tonight they will be in Parliament to be sworn in. As far as you are concerned,
yeah, it's for close. It's for close.
Good. We'll see what. Let's come to Eastern Region. We understand that there was some situation with Akwetia where the NDC had filed for I don't know what to call it, a stay of execution or an injunction to prevent.
Akwetia. No, sometimes they say what is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. Akwetia, on our blind side, we are absolutely unaware. The NDC came here ex parte to obtain an injunction ex parte order against our candidate. What is good for the goose is equally good for the gander. They were in a high court Accra claiming that they were not heard in the earlier Madame's application. They want to be heard. Want the Supreme Court to go and cry like a baby that they want to be heard. The court said go and be heard. And they came and they were heard. And the court said go and do the collation and the declaration, which has been done. They came here ex parte without a notice to us and obtained an ex parte injunction order against our candidate, against Akwetia. So ask them these questions. Why did they do that? So we are here. We have come here. We were here yesterday, and we are here today as well to deal with that application and also Fantiakwa North.
So what are you doing in Akwetia in relation? Are you going to ask to be joined to that particular matter?
No. We praying the court to set aside the order.
Okay, so you are praying the same court to set aside the order for
interim injunction. Yes.
What is going on in Fantiakwa North?
Fantiakwa North, they have a series of applications which they fixed them on the 17th of January. When swearing in is coming on tomorrow or so. Is it tomorrow? Tomorrow, on the 7th. All right, and they have applications fixed for 17th. All in their attempt to try to halt our candidate from being sworn in by Parliament. So that's what we are here to deal with it this morning.
So is it the same court?
Different courts. At the same high court, but different courts.
Wonderful. Finally, we understand that there's also been an action initiated by the NDC in Trobu against your candidate who won, and that I don't know if as MPP lead counsel you are aware of the Trobu matter.
I am aware. It has come to my attention, and the necessary policies are being filed to deal with that particular matter. In any event, the Gazette has not been done by the Electoral Commission. It is very clear. Election petitions are filed only when Gazette notifications are done. They can go to court within 21 days of the publication of the Gazette to which the election relates. So if the Gazette has not been done and you go to court on an election petition, the case is premature. This is a point that every lawyer ought to know. That you have to wait. If you have a complaint about elections, you wait. When the EC gazettes the results of the elections, then you can proceed to court. Any case that you file in court on election petition without the Gazette notification being done, it's premature. It means that the court jurisdiction has not properly been invoked. Because it's a condition precedent that the Gazette ought to be done by the EC before you can go to court. So when people are rushing to court and all that, trouble that they are in court, there is no Gazette in trouble. So why are they in court? Anyway.
Well, finally, we understand there's another action in Pandai. Are you aware of this?
I'm aware of that one as well.
What is your understanding of the nature of that matter?
That one too. It's also an election petition. And I've started a lawyer internally to deal with it. That is Sylvester. Sylvester will deal with that matter. But he reports to me, so everything I'm aware of it.
So in summary, the 3 in Accra, EC has declared. The 2 in Eastern Regional, the NDC is trying to stop. You are in court to argue otherwise.
morning.
Then the Pandai and Trobu, you are also aware of, and you believe these are election petitions, and therefore the 21 days have to expire before they are even properly heard.
The gazette has to be done first
by
the EC. The EC has not gazetted the results, and so therefore, if you go to court prior to the gazetting of the results, the action is premature. It means the court jurisdiction has not properly been invoked by you, because it's a condition precedent. Wait for the gazette to be done. If you have any complaints, you can complain.
Thank you for talking to us, and good luck to you, Mr. Gary Mako.
You're welcome.
He's MPP lawyer for these matters, and he's quite busy, as you can see. Greater Accra had 3 issues, actually 4. 3 have been finished. There's Ablekuma not to be done. He's in court on Akwitia and Fantiakwa North, which the NDC has filed, he says ex parte, and he's going to argue that they should not be allowed to stand. And there's also 2 outstanding, Trobo and Pandai. But for all these we've mentioned, we have 275 declarations done. The only one left is Ablekuma North, based on everything we know. We'll come back to that shortly. It's 8:02. Tech and Social Media Trends is next. Who's sponsoring it?
First Bank Ghana and Telecel. First Bank Ghana says if you're sending money to Gambia, Guinea, Liberia, Nigeria and Sierra Leone, it's easy through the Pan-African Payment and Settlement Systems, PAPS. You can send and receive money to any of these countries for business and personal purposes. You would need to visit a First Bank Ghana branch nationwide with your cash, and your money is transferred. Now, to receive money, you will need a First Bank Ghana account. So call this number to find out more. 0596 921 921. And for this particular season of connections, joy, lasting memories, don't run out of data. Telecel Fixed Broadband has an amazing package for you. Introducing the Too Much Christmas offer, gives you a whopping 150% bonus data for just 150 Ghana cedis extra on your current plan. More data, more magic. Experience the magic of uninterrupted internet this festive season. Perfect for all things you love to do. Simply dial star 900 hash or visit www.telecel.com.gh. Download the Telecel Play app. Subscribe to the Too Much Christmas offer on Telecel Fixed Broadband today. Telecel, connecting energies.
Suzu Graham is joining us for the first Tech and Social Media Trends, properly so called, for the Suzu. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Hope you had a good break.
I did, but you can see my voices.
Were you screaming about the Liverpool match or what?
Oh no.
What were you doing?
I was chilling. You know that song from me says chilling that he's cold.
You were chilling. You know, this guy, when somebody tells you they are chilling, he looks like, are you Gen Z? What's your?
I'm Gen Z.
You're chilling. For them, they're chilling in Kwao. Chilling in more.
It was small. I had a small break. Then there was a lot of Premier League, so I was.
So you were chilling in Premier League?
Yeah.
Anyway, so what's trending beyond chilling?
So like you mentioned, the Liverpool match was trending. You know?
You're struggling.
It was a very interesting match for those who watched. A very exciting too. We covered it on the Premier League on Sunday. Very great match.
United, they are just party poopers.
So various players also trending in addition.
Lose 6 games and come and meet Liverpool and come and play as if the World Cup final.
So various players also trending. Ugarte was trending. He had a great performance in the midfield.
Yeah.
My boss Harry Maguire was trending because of that last minute.
I hear Menu was playing master game.
Oh yeah, it was a very interesting game. So obviously a lot of hashtag related to that game. Trent was also trending because he was quite poor. So there was a lot going on.
You go to Real Madrid.
After the game, the Liverpool fans like he should go. It's okay. We even pay Real Madrid for him to go. Then dear First Lady Rebecca was trending along with Bagbin. They had a spat. Is that a small one too in Parliament after the State of the Nation address. So Rebecca has been trending. So in addition, Bagbin and other things related to that have been trending. So very, very politically charged. And then the Ghana victory concerts that the NDC had last night, it's been trending, but not for necessarily the performances. There was a kind of controversy about Stonebwoy's addition to the lineup, and he was subsequently removed because the grassroots kind of felt that he was too partisan in the past, had shown too much support for the MPP, so they would have preferred for him not to perform. So the organizers were asked to remove him, and they duly complied, and he was removed from the lineup. So
Stonebwoy has been removed.
Yeah, they removed him and they had their concerts. And then the tech news is Foxconn. The world's largest electronic company has posted record fourth quarter revenue based on the fact that AI demand means that there's more electronics being built, more stuff being built. So Foxconn is in company based in China, and their fourth quarter revenue was 15.2% and 64 billion.
Wow. The Gen Z Susu Graham, after chilling, brought us the first social media.
Guys, don't worry, my voice doesn't usually sound like this. When you've not heard me before, so just bear with me.
Your voice sounds very interesting.
You're looking for a bank to rely on? Let me give you a shout out to Lion. Wouldn't we say to banky be no lie? Only one place where I get my eye on. Make I introduce you all to First Bank, the best services in the world, first rank. Customer service, everything is well planned. I make music, I travel, I sell land. They be my reserve tank. Cause every time I know my money's safe. Universal banking ain't in me here date. I'm a busy person, me no need time to wait. Now I got to Spain even when I'm in the States. My me blue shirt. The team in office a chilly, but who cares? Cause I bank with the best. I'm lucky, I'm too blessed. When it comes to First Bank, it's too west. Everything is you first.
Nobody feed you, I'm like us. First Bank, we treat you first. Treat you first. Somebody see yeah. Think about you first. Think about you first.
You first. First Bank.
It's the season for joy, laughter, and endless connections. With Telecel fixed broadband, you get 150% bonus data on your monthly bundle when you subscribe to our Too Much Christmas offer for just 150 Ghana cedis. Experience the magic of uninterrupted internet this festive season, perfect for all the things you love to do online. Yes, 150% bonus data for only 150 Ghana cedis. Dial *900# or visit the Telecel Play app or web to subscribe now and experience a holiday powered by Telecel's unmatched fixed broadband data.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Hi, Aku. I just got the estimate for the home repairs. It's more than we expected. I'm really stressed about where to find the money.
Why worry, Musa? You are a salaried worker. Haven't you heard about the GCB personal loan promo? They can give you up to 700,000 Ghana cedis in less than 24 hours at a significantly reduced interest rate and fees.
Really? This sounds exciting, but is it easy to apply?
Super easy. Skip the stress. Get the cash with the GCB personal loan promo with a 1-month repayment holiday. Just visit a GCB bank branch near you or call 0302-634-922. Toll free 0800-422-422. No hassle, no stress.
Wow, I just got a notification. The loan is already in my account. That was fast.
Skip the stress and get the cash you need with GCB personal loan. Visit a branch near you today. Terms and conditions apply. GCB Bank, your bank for life.
Channel 1 TV is live on DSTV, GoTV, and HD+. On DSTV, find us on Channel 363. On GoTV, we're on Channel 117. And on HD+, get us on Channel 108. On a digital TV, run a new search. But take note that without an antenna, you cannot access Channel 1 TV. Channel 1 TV can be accessed on any free-to-air digital box, like the DSTV and HD+ boxes.
Channel 1 TV. Telling your story. Empowering change.
Anymore, pop quiz. Are you ready?
Hit me.
Can you give me 3 words that start with omni?
Oh, that's easy. Omnibus, omnipotent, omnibus. The bank with a really nice signboard.
Hey, Radzi, you mean omnibisic. OMNIBSIC. Omnibisic. Let me hear you say it.
Omnibisic.
Perfect.
Is that an abbreviation?
Not entirely. And it's not just a bank with nice signboards either. Omnibisic Bank is Ghana's fastest growing bank with innovative banking products and headquarters in Atlantic Tower at Airport City, Accra, as well as 40 branches across the country. Omnibisic Bank has the final word word on excellent customer service delivery in Ghana.
Plus, they have the coolest signboard.
Yes, they do. And the coolest name, Omni Basic.
At your service.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
So it's 11 minutes past 8. We're still on the Citi Breakfast Show. We are combining a lot of things. How are you approaching the new year? I'm saying motivation gets me started, but discipline is what gets me going. So I'm focused more on discipline than just motivation. Although Effective Living Series will start this week. We will motivate you, but we want to urge you to apply a good dose of discipline to that. But if you're looking for litigation-free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate, who specialize in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. We have prime areas like Accra and Ibri with land starting at 90,000 Ghana cedis, flexible payment terms, and also buildings available. Call 055 75 55 909 or 027 27 78 880, or send an email to info@Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams. And it's time to maximize and grow your business exponentially using the Bisame app, an app here to help you connect to customers. All you need to do is register your business, reach more customers, and watch your sales soar higher. With Bisame app, your security is assured. Our trade assurance ensures that your online purchases are secured. Locate the item you want to buy from any social media platform. Inform Bisame the seller is called to bring the item to the office for inspection before you make a payment. With our in-app video calls, Bisame app gives you more safety. Download Bisame app on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Grow your business, connect with customers, and enjoy success with ease. And Africa Regent Hotel has some great news for you. Make the holidays unforgettable. Treat your family and friends to a celebration at the African Regent Hotel. Join us daily to enjoy delightful welcome drinks, mouth-watering delicacies, and soothing melodies in a relaxed atmosphere throughout the festive season, all at unbeatable offers. Come for an unforgettable performance this and every Friday at Zong inside the African Regent from 6 p.m. Call or WhatsApp 026 82 65 386 or 0302 76 51 80, or send an email to mkt@african-regent. or -hotel.com, or simply look for Africa Regent Hotel online.
And the enjoyment is real from now to the end of June this year. Enterprise Insurance is giving you more reasons to smile on the road. So buy or renew existing motor insurance policy and enjoy amazing rewards. We have free fuel coupons for your car and airtime for your phone. Visit any branch, connect with your insurance agent or broker. Use the Enterprise Advantage app for convenience. Enjoy free fuel coupons and airtime instantly when you buy or renew your motor insurance. Terms and conditions apply. Enterprise, your advantage. And if you're looking for a delicious snack for both kids and adults, try Bell Moo flavored milk. Bell Moo comes in chocolate and sweet strawberry flavors. It's perfect for any time of the day, for your lunch boxes, after school snacks, or a quick pick me up. For bulk distribution, call 0544 335 900 or 0544 335 800. Bell Moo, maliciously delicious, another quality product from Bell Aqua. And dear valued customer, Happy New Year from all of us at Zenith Bank. As we welcome 2025, we extend our heartfelt appreciation for your loyalty and support. We remain steadfast in our commitment to providing innovative banking solutions and delivering exceptional service that exceed your expectations. So we wish you a year of growth, prosperity, and shared achievements. Let's make this year extraordinary together. Zenith Bank, in your best interest.
Let's talk law. We started with Gary Mako of the MPP. Justice Remsai is a leading lawyer for the NDC side as well. So 4 constituencies were supposed to have been determined based on the Mandamus application. We know the trajectory. Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, Techiman South have been now declared for MPP. Ablekuma North yet to be done. What has the NDC filed? Will they be able to get a hearing before swearing in tonight? Justice Remsai, thanks for joining us. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard. And good morning to you all. Listen.
Wonderful. So we just spoke to Gary Mako of the MPP, who said, as far as he's concerned, the MPs elect for Okankwe Central, Tema Central, and Techiman South will be sworn in today, or at least tomorrow morning, when the new parliament is sworn in. We understand the NDC has filed some process. Can you explain that process and whether the hearing will be done before the swearing in?
Thank you very much. First of all, I think my learned friend Gary's claim cannot be in good faith. That is because he's aware that when you get a judgment and there is a stay of executing, you ought not go ahead to execute that which the application of stay is in respect of. As at the time the electoral commissioner and even the NPP candidates were collating those results, purporting to collate it in accordance with the court order, the EC had been served with a stay of execution, and I believe my good friend on the other side who had been served with his clients have been served with that stay. So to go ahead and conduct a business which would make a subsequent court order negatory, it's something which my good friend knows, and I believe Bernard, you are also aware, because this is not the first time something like this has happened, that kind of behavior cannot be blessed by law. So based on that, I do not see why anyone would say that the swearing of these four of now three MPs elect, or as it were, would be something that will happen. I know that they have been served at the time they were conducting that business, and I don't think that we should continue blessing that which we know is unlawful with the law, and the law will not entertain such things.
Let me understand you. So you filed an appeal of the High Court decision to allow the mandamus that the MPP had requested, which mandamus directed the EC, or which mandamus was to direct the EC to do the collation. When the judgment was made, you filed an appeal of a notice. So are you saying that appeal inherently injuncts the process, or you specifically asked for a stay?
Yeah, so we filed an appeal and specifically asked for a stay, applied for a stay of execution of the judgment, which we are appealing against. And that stay, that application of stay, has been served on the EC. That's for a fact. And I understand the EC had even filed an affidavit in opposition. Well, I could not confirm that, but our clerk told us that something like that. So our point is simple, that once you have notice of the stay application, then you cannot, in any honesty or any lawfulness or conduct, be conducting the collation or recollation as it is. And if you go ahead to do that, you have, overreached the orders that the court may make if the stay application was heard. And our point is simple, that such behaviors will not be blessed by law. And it is in that spirit that we are saying that the three MPs ought not be sworn in tonight.
I see. Go ahead. So you think the three MPs elect should not be sworn in until the appeal is heard?
Yeah, they should not be sworn in until such a time that the matters concerning their alleged election is finally resolved. Bernard, you would remember, sometimes the mandamus, we believe strongly it flies in the face of any law. You remember in 2020, the Amewu case, you recall that we were in court. We were in court in Bo, and we filed a process which injuncted Amewu from being sworn in. And the Attorney General at the time, filed a certiorari to the Supreme Court to say that we use a procedure other than election petition to get the orders that we had. And the Supreme Court was emphatic, clear, even on review, that you cannot use another process, a process other than election petition to procure an order which affects election. And I believe that based on that, the Supreme Court caused the injunction that was placed against Amewu, and Amewu was sworn in subsequently. this is the same this case is almost on all fours with that situation where you have, the NPP had used a judicial review or a process other than election petition to procure a result which is affecting electoral results. And we are saying that to the extent that the High Court ignore the decision of the Supreme Court, which we know happened in 2020, and is doing something contrary to that, we do not see how that decision will stand. Based on that, we are this morning, and we should have filed it long ago, but because of the official, the holidays, we are this morning filing even a statutory right to quash that. In the light of all this, I do not honestly see how anyone will bless these three MPs, these three alleged MPs, with any swearing in this evening or tomorrow. We believe strongly that it is an election issue, an election petition should have been used to procure whatever is happening. And we also believe that, as much as we respect the High Court judge's opinion and decision, we think that the decision flies in the face of law and it is wrong and ought to be corrected by the Supreme Court.
Okay, so again, for clarity's sake, you've said two things about what you filed. You said that when the mandamus was granted, you filed a notice of appeal and also a stay of execution, which you believe the MPP and EC were aware of. But you are now also telling me that you have filed a certiorari, or you are about to file a certiorari. In which court? In relation to what?
In the Supreme Court, in relation to the objection, we raised a preliminary objection against the High Court judges, the mandamus, saying that this is not the right procedure to adopt in securing the remedies they were looking for, that is the MPP were looking for. That preliminary objection was ruled on Friday, I think, last week somewhere, I think Thursday or Friday. And our point is that the preliminary objection itself, should have been upheld based on binding precedent. The High Court has no jurisdiction to depart from a very clear and emphatic precedent which the Supreme Court had laid down in 2020. And so our belief is that the second process, which is in the process of being filed, would remedy that situation. And my point is that we filed these processes. We have filed the two of execution, which is flouted. We are filing another one to quash the preliminary objection on the back of which the mandamus was granted. In the light of all this, I, as a lawyer, do not see how any person who cares about rule of law, who wants to obey court orders, who is interested in complying with law, would swear anyone in any of these three alleged MPs in tonight.
Okay. So for those of us who are not lawyers, we are saying the way I see it is you've gone to a high court initially to try to be part of a mandamus hearing, which you were not allowed. You went to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says you deserve a right to be heard. Precisely. And then they said go to a high court presided over by a different high court judge to hear the substantive matter. The substantive matter is heard and the mandamus is granted nonetheless. So that would mean that if two different judges within the same level of court agree that the mandamus is valid, irrespective of the 2020 precedent you point to, that would be a bit difficult for you to convince other people that it's... So are you saying that the two judges are both wrong?
It shouldn't be... law is no democracy. You understand? So that if you have 1,000 people saying one thing and one person says the other, then it means that the 1,000 are right. So law doesn't work that way. Law works with principles. So if 1,000 people are on the wrong principle and one person is on the right principle, the law will uphold, the one person who is on the right principle. So the fact that these two judges have held this way, and indeed, it is even not entirely correct that the two of them have held, have gone the same direction. But I mean, the ultimate, I understand it when you say the two of them are on the same side in the sense that they will, affirm the results. Our point is that even if there are thousands, we believe that 1,000 people could be wrong and one person will be right, and that is the true nature of law.
Now, it's also interesting that you have filed two parallel processes. You have appealed the judgment, I suppose, in a court of appeal. Yes. You've sent a notice of appeal, which I believe you say you filed, and now you've also filed for a certiorari in the Supreme Court to quash the decision of the High Court. Do you have any indication of the timelines for hearing? Have you been told when these matters will be heard? Is it possible that hearing will happen before tonight of either of them?
If you would notice, you will see that in respect of these election matters, the Chief Justice has put in place a mechanism for a speedy determination of the matter. So we believe that within a few days, even today, we are ready to move our motion today. We are ready to, if the court is going to grant us audience, we are ready to do anything that we have to do today. But the main point is that we believe it should be heard as soon as possible. From today or a few days after, we should have a hearing. And since the January 7th swearing is mandatory, constitutional mandate, is a mandate by the Constitution, it must happen, within the stipulated time. I think the fair thing which ought to be done, we cannot injunct the swearing in for all the MPs from happening, but in the individual ones, these alleged ones, we believe that the law will not gloss over the principle of law and let them be sworn in. And we have seen situations where, now we know that the argument of representation doesn't really fly when things like this happen. And we saw that through the Judicial situation where the Supreme Court, for the first time in our history, granted an injunction for an elected declared member of Parliament from pitching. So we believe that the argument of representation now has been whittled down by precedent. Indeed, we saw 5 people who have not had anybody represent them for the past, 4 years. So clearly, we do not think that going by precedent, we will have a situation where an exception will be made for these alleged 4 alleged MPs, 3 alleged MPs.
Since you are appointed to legal president, what I remember in 2021 was that the MPP had secured some sort of injunction against Asin North MP Jachi Kwesen, which they had attempted to serve on him to prevent him from being sworn in. And the NDC maneuvered to prevent that from happening because they managed to get him into the chamber and got him sworn in, even though the MPP said they had a legal process which was to prevent that. So now that the shoe is on the other foot, you are now telling me that the 3 should be prevented. But if I use the legal precedent let me just explain my question so you can answer it. So my understanding is that the MDC did not want to, MPP wanted to prevent Jachikwe from being sworn in 2021 because of a certain legal process the MPP had initiated. Your side resisted that and made sure he was sworn in. So why should we treat Okankwe Central, Tema Central, and Techiman South differently? Is this not the same thing?
Yes, no, it is not the same thing. It's not the issue at all. It's a completely different issue. So in the MPP situation, what we saw was that, you need to serve the person, and the persons involved in the swearing, they need to be aware of your order. So if I go to court and I procure an order and I make an announcement on radio and I have not served the people, they may go ahead and do what they have to do because they have no notice of what I am saying. That is what happened in I think 2021, where I think the MPP secured their injunction, but they secured it so late that by the time it said the events had already taken place. So in this case, we are saying that we are aware. We understand that if they had even filed an affidavit in opposition. So really, if you are aware and you go ahead you have been served and you go ahead to do otherwise. Yeah,
but do we have evidence that Patrick Buama, Charles Forson, and Martin Kosa have actually been served? Has your injunction even been granted? For which there is, you get my point?
No. So I think there are 2 things here. Okay. I'm talking of the stay of execution.
Okay.
In respect of the Mandamu judgment. Okay. That had been served on the EC. And indeed, EC is the one doing the regulation. So once they are served, and even if the 3 MPs, alleged MPs, have not been served, the EC has been served, then it cannot go ahead to do that which they know.
But what EC does is gazetting, and they gazette the 275. So I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to understand the issues. So you're saying the EC has been served with a stay.
Let me explain to you what the issue. So there is a judgment in respect of the Mandamus, okay, which was given on Saturday. That judgment we have appealed on the Saturday. And in the appeal, we also filed a stay of execution of that judgment, which means that the court should consider whether the repolition should be done under the circumstances. Now, the rule is that when a stay of execution of a judgment is filed, the judgment, the person who obtained the judgment, the victorious party, may not go ahead and execute the judgment, because when it does that, he indirectly is overreaching the orders that the court may make. In respect of that, we are saying that since the EC has been said on Saturday, they ought not go ahead to, do the recoalition. Yet they did it, giving us a result which favors these three, alleged MPs. That is one side. So that is one flouting of the law. The second issue you asked me was on the swearing in tonight. And I'm saying that we are filing these processes, apart from even the one that they have flouted, which also notify for which, if granted, will nullify what they have done. We are in the process of filing a certiorari to quash the preliminary objection that the judge ruled on. Now, that process, if it is served on the parties or even the clerk of parliament or the speaker of parliament, whoever may be, then the swearing cannot go on when there is a court case pending to determine the outcome of what is going to be done. And then you asked me, you referred me to the 2021 equation, which is in the similar situation as the one that the process we are filing. And my position on that is that they are not on all fours. They are not. It's not the same shoe which is on the other leg, and that if we are able to serve, for example, the speaker or the clerk, and we are able to serve the three alleged entities, okay, I don't think that not any of them will have the capacity to now go and perform the swearing in. In that situation, what happened was that even though the processes were started, the orders were obtained, the orders were not served before the swearing was done. So it depends on the service of the orders. If we are able to serve our, clearly then the speaker or the what we call it, the clerk cannot go ahead and rule this through for swearing in. So I believe I've clarified.
That's clear. That's clear. So for you, either the speaker, the clerk, or the three, once one of that group has been served, you believe that the swearing in should not happen.
Precisely.
Good. So it means tonight there's going to be a mini showdown, because from what Mr. Nimaku is telling me, they believe that the three have been duly elected, and they are quite confident that the EC in the Gazette will include their names. And so the speaker will have to make a decision, or the clerk will have to decide whether of course, once you serve them, he has to make a decision on what to do. So that's what I mean by a showdown.
Yeah. In that sense, but I believe that the clerk with the so and all the people involved are law-abiding citizens of this country, highly reputed civil servants, and they understand these issues. We say who is the clerk is a very seasoned lawyer himself, and so we have no difficulty at all in complying with some of these orders.
Well, thanks for talking to us, Justice Ramsay. Have a good morning.
Thanks so much, Bernard.
So Legal Mind is a law lecturer and also one of the key NDC lawyers who's basically explained their side. So this is going to be an interesting, it's almost like a mini showdown, because in 2021 we didn't have the same level of precedent to understand what was going on that clearly, because what we were told was that Judge Equation, they wanted to serve him, and the NDC sort of, they couldn't find him, sort of, they hid him somewhere, so he was in the chamber. And then I think the clerk tried to say that he had been served with some process. And then after a long argument, it was agreed that they will swear everybody in, including the Equation, and then whatever happens should happen after the swearing in. But in this case, they are saying that they will serve between now, or probably have served the speaker, the clerk, and
we
the
don't
three.
have a speaker for the 8th part.
Who they are. Yeah. So they will serve the appropriate people.
What will happen most likely is to serve the clerk to Parliament. In this case,
Mr. Jethro.
Yeah, Emmanuel Ahuma Jethro. And then hope that will be brought to the attention of the new speaker when he is eventually elected and he takes his oath of office through.
But can he be elected? Who will elect him?
The MPs elect.
So at that time they will not yet be MPs.
No.
So they can all elect him.
Yeah. So the Constitution says that as soon as there is a quorum, you the MPs elect
Choose your speaker.
The first sitting of a newly elected parliament shall choose a speaker.
Then the speaker will be sworn in.
Yeah, so the speaker will be sworn in by the chief.
Then he takes over the proceedings and then swears in the MPs.
Exactly. And
so what they are trying to stop is the swearing in of these three.
Yes.
Good. So if the clerk does not stop, so let's assume the three MPs get into the chamber. The clerk begins proceedings and they vote for the speaker. The speaker can then say that he has been served with something, so he thinks that the three should not be included in the voting.
So that's the tricky part.
Or in the swearing in.
So you see, the NDC is trying to circumvent a process. The EC will write to the clerk detailing all the people they have validly declared
in the so-called writ of election
as MPs elect.
Okay.
That is the communication based on which Parliament would engage its new members of Parliament. So he would first of all do a roll call
on the 276
North constituency.
Okay.
You know, what's the name? They'll mention all the names.
Okay.
And presidents, all of that will be done. So if you are not supposed to be there, then technically you are a stranger.
Okay.
You understand? But the question is whether the rules can be properly engaged as to ensure that people who shouldn't be there are not there. Because what I'm hearing is that the NDC side, if the reports I'm picking up from within is anything to go by, they are also planning to present their own. So the likes of Baba Sadiq, Ibi Bright, and these other people, there is a certain group within who are also insisting that they should also present themselves for possible swearing in.
But is there EC's communication that the clerk deals with?
Exactly. But in this particular case, there's conflict. Some people say these people have been validly elected. Other people say
but Justice Sai did not disagree with me when I said is the writ of basically. He understands that he says what the EC did was illegal, but the truth is that once the EC writes to Parliament, it behoves on the clerk or the speaker to act. So he cannot. So I'm not sure a good strategy would be to try and bring in your three MPs when their name is not on the Gazette.
Well, I understand
because the EC is the one who managed to do that work.
I understand.
So you cannot present three people whose names are not on the list.
I agree with your position, but the point I'm making is that in reality, that is what is being discussed. Possibly presenting these people who were originally declared, although the argument is that those declarations were defective. You understand? For purposes of ensuring that they get through the process. Now, if we go strictly by the book,
because even if you present those three people, they cannot be sworn in today because they are not in the Gazette. So
gazetting has not been done.
That's what I'm saying, that from what the EC has done, the names of the three NDC people will not be in that list.
Yes.
So even if you present them physically, you cannot legally swear them in because you need the list from the EC.
Yeah, so you see,
and the clerk cannot read a list and then include your MP whose name is not there.
You are doing the right thing. I agree with you. But I'm also telling you about the politics. That's in what the people are discussing and what some intend to do.
Okay, but from what I did with Justice, he's suggesting that it is more the service of their process on the clerk and the speaker that will arrest what they believe to be the illegality, not presenting those three guys.
You see, so
that's what he's saying to me.
So in this whole thing, people use strategy, and you can have multiple arms to the strategy.
I see.
One arm is ensure that all the processes that you need to file get filed, right? Which would then give you the opportunity to go. I would imagine Honorable Bagby opening his doors very wide.
Okay, let's stay with law. Let's stay with law now and forget that. Let me ask you a question. Is service of a stay an injunction? And I want to repeat the question for listeners to understand why I'm asking it. Because Mr. Sai says they will serve the three, they will serve, or they hope to serve the three, they will certainly serve the clerk, and they will serve the speaker to be. All right. Now, service means that the process has been made, you have been put on. They've said, Sky, this is it. The court has said this.
No, the court hasn't said. The court.
What I have done with the court, I have initiated a process.
I've brought a process.
So this is your copy of what. So you know.
Yes.
Is that a stay of execution?
No, you see, stay of execution. You make an application to a court that has decided a matter, and you are asking the court to freeze The order is
so let me play. No, I'm saying that is the service of a stay an injunction. That's what I'm saying.
No, it isn't. It doesn't operate as an injunction, strictly speaking. But what it does is to put you on notice that this particular matter is still a matter for the court to decide, and therefore become aware and do not do anything that would overreach the court. In other words, do not do anything that would undermine the place of authority around the court. So if the order, what you are seeking to freeze is that, okay, a judgment has been given, and the judgment is to the effect that Caleb Kuda becomes a member of parliament, and therefore he should be sworn into office.
Yeah.
And then you agree by that decision, you file a process to stay the judgment of the court, and you bring that to the attention of Caleb Kuda or the person who will do the swearing in. The noble thing to do is for Caleb himself to take notice of that and say that in view of what the court will do on the matter, let me not proceed any further. Or if it is Fejabano who will swear him into office, he will say that, okay, out of respect for the court, I have decided I would not do anything that would affect the eventual outcome of the case. Do you understand?
So you are saying that either the person who is to be sworn in can say, I've been made aware of a process, and therefore I will of my own volition say, don't swear me in. Or the swearing officer can say, since I've been made aware of this process, I will exercise my discretion and not swear you in. Can he say then, well, even though there's a process, I still think I should swear you in? Because if you use the word discretion, so my question is it the discretion of the officer, like the clerk or the speaker, to decide, or the stay becomes an injunction that he's enjoined to?
It doesn't operate. You see, we have discussed this matter on many occasions on this platform, and my point of view is clear on the matter. I know lawyers have all kinds of views they espouse. If a client of mine tells me that a particular process has been served from the court, waiting for a determination of a particular matter, my approach would be, out of respect to the court, let us not proceed any further, because whatever we do is likely to affect, the rights of the other party, although my client's rights are in play. But other people take the view that, look, the court hasn't sat on the matter, the court hasn't decided the matter, ignore it. It happened in my case before the speaker. When processes that I sought to arrest were forwarded still to the president for the president to assent to it. Of course, subsequently.
So what was the court's determination on that?
The court didn't decide that matter because it simply said I did not have jurisdiction to deal with it.
So let me understand something. If you were the lawyer for the MPs in this case, based on what you've explained to me, you would have said to them, once you have been made aware of this process,
out of respect for
don't go and be sworn in.
Out of respect for the court.
Good. What if you were the lawyer for the clerk of parliament? So let's assume that lawyers for Caleb or the three say, forget about the court, go, because easy as gazetted, you go and be sworn in. If you were the lawyer for the clerk, would you advise the clerk to, because the three have presented themselves, they didn't do the so-called honorable thing, and they said, we have come to be sworn in. Would you, as lawyer for clerk, say to clerk, go ahead and let them be in the list, mention their names, so that the speaker, when he is duly elected, will swear them in?
So you see, lawyers normally do not tell you what to do. They give you what is allowable within the remit of...
And then you make a decision.
Okay, yes. Because, of course, you are trying to protect the interest of the client. The client will tell you what he wants to do. Then you say, okay, if you do it this way, this is what you achieve. If you do it that way, blah, 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 this is what you achieve. And then the client, you advise the client on the basis of what the law says. Right? And then the client will elect that, I believe that this is how I want to do it. If the client says this is how you want to do it, he wants to do it, you align with that. Or if you do not align with it, then you advise accordingly. But in this particular case, my advice will not change. My advice will be that, look, we are dealing with three arms of government. Parliament is there, the executive is there, the legislature, the judiciary is there. A process has originated from the court, seeking to freeze a particular conduct, right? Action. My view would be, out of respect, although the court has not strictly speaking heard the matter or determined it yet.
You don't want to preempt the court
by... Yes, you don't want to do anything, because you can always become a member of parliament if
You can be sworn in on another day.
Exactly.
So
but
respect the court and don't go and be sworn in.
Don't go and do anything that would undermine what is before the courts. But I do know this is politics, and my position is consistent with what I've always said.
So your point is that once you are made aware of a process,
just respect
allow the courts to do what they have to do.
Exactly.
Okay, what if the client feels that they will be irreparably damaged if they are not sworn in? Because the way I see it is that once you are sworn in, the major remedy for the other party will be a petition.
Yes.
Because you are duly sworn in. And so it changes the legal calculation. But if I'm not sworn in, it's almost like I as the client, I can say these guys are trying to use this state thing to just delay. So what I'm trying to say is that they know that there's a very short time between today and swearing in. So even if we give the court the chance to hear the matter, all right, you are saying that even if the matter is heard on Monday, when Parliament reconvenes, you can still be sworn in if the matter is determined in your interest. So you don't lose too much.
Yes, that's right.
Versus saying that, well, if I'm sworn in, it gives me a certain political advantage that sort of puts pressure on that court.
You see, there is a price to pay for disregarding processes from the courts. And that is where the issue of contempt comes in.
Oh, okay.
So, for instance, that is why you are telling the clerk that, Mr. Clerk, well, the reality is that if you are made aware of the processes before the court and you act in a way that disregard those processes, and that matter is brought to the attention of the court, or the court on its own take notice of it, then you are likely to pay the price, and that is you're held in contempt. So you'll be invited to come and explain why you should not be held in contempt for having done A, B, and C, and D. So you explain that to the clerk. And then the clerk would, out of his own understanding of what you've told him, take a decision. At the end of the day, lawyers ultimately align or do not align with the interest of the client. If you think that this matter is, you have advised on the matter, you have done your due diligence, you have researched the law, and the client is still adamant, you are entitled to handing over your brief to the client and say, okay, well, I mean, this particular matter, you're trying to undermine my professional judgment, blah, 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 and then you can move on. But if you believe that within the remit of the law, there is also an opportunity to actually align properly with the client's interest on what he wants to do, and that it does not affect any of the ethical requirements that you have to meet, then in that case, then you may align accordingly.
The lawyers will not let us be rest. So it's 8:48, Citi Breakfast Show, and we are basically trying to understand what's going to happen in Parliament tonight. What is clear is that 10 a.m., this 8th Parliament will be dissolved. They will begin their process at 10. We don't know when it will end, but definitely before close of the 8th Parliament will be formally dissolved. The 9th Parliament will begin its what's the English word for delivery? Basically, they are about to be born. So the labor process starts at 11 p.m. when the clerk will then sort of do the roll call. They'll go through the process, and then the first job they have to do is to elect a speaker. Then the speaker takes over and swears in the Parliament. We understand the whole process begins at 11 p.m. and should end by 12:30, latest 1 a.m. The only issue we are not clear of is whether the 3 and possibly 4, because Ablekuma North may be finished today as far as the collations are done. The 4 or the 3, Okaikwe Central, Tema Central, Techiman South, whether those 3 members of Parliament will be sworn in with the 276, or whether they would wait for the process the NDC has filed in court to be heard, after which they can be sworn on a different date, or whatever happens. So that's the only sticking point for this matter. But we will be there. Our coverage.
You see, the only dishonesty I see in all of this is that, you see, when the majority leader went to court, right, in connection with the seats that were declared vacant, trying to anticipate what the speaker was likely to do.
Sorry, which seats?
The was it 3 seats, right? The gang of 3. The Fomena.
Fomena as what do you call it? Yeah. Cynthia Morrison, and then
exactly
there was one NDC one, Memphis Central.
So the majority leader took notice of what was happening or about happening, went to court seeking to freeze the speaker from hearing and determining a motion that would invite him to declare these seats vacant.
I remember that.
He sought to serve the processes on Parliament's legal team. Somehow they refused service. But on the day the Speaker first heard the matter, he brought it to the attention of the Speaker.
Of the House?
Yeah, on the House, and by extension the Speaker, because he sort of drew the attention of the Speaker to that.
Yeah.
Trying to put the Speaker on notice through what he was doing.
But this was on the floor?
Yes, this was on the floor. The Speaker, regardless or nonetheless, proceeded and heard the minority leader's application.
And then said that the three should not be.
No, and said that he would determine the matter on a subsequent day.
Yes.
Subsequently, the office of the legal department was served the process.
Mm-hmm.
But that did not stop the Speaker from proceeding and making declarations that in effect overreached the processes that had been served in the courts.
So it took the Supreme Court
to now
go and
stay
the Speaker's
decision
and then hear the matter well,
exactly,
and then eventually decide.
So in some other way, and please don't. I know people would say all kinds of things, but it is not to question Mr. Speaker in any way. I'm trying to say that in that case, the Speaker could easily have been cited for contempt.
Mm-hmm.
You understand? To say that you were aware. At least it was told to you, it was served on your people.
But
yet you went ahead anyway.
But the court chose not to do that.
Yeah, they didn't.
What did the court do? They just basically stayed his judgment.
Exactly.
And then made a determination of the matter and said that what he did was illegal.
Which stay he did not in effect even give effect to. Because he closed Parliament and said everybody should go home and give some reasons for it. What I'm saying is that, you see, politicians, when it suits them, they say that, the mere filing of a process should operate as a stay.
But in other cases, they don't say
But
that.
when it doesn't suit them, they say, hey, no, merely filing a process should not operate. I think there has got to be honesty,
consistency,
and we should respect the ethics. The idea is, what you are about doing, does it have the potential to undermine the blaze of authority surrounding the court? If it will, stay your hands. And hopefully the court will determine the matter quickly. But people don't want to do that. They want to undermine everything.
So then there's also the whole point around bringing the legislature and the judiciary always into this collision, where something that, we are developing our democracy, so these tensions help to provide some clarity. But I think your point about consistency is also clear, that whatever decisions we take, there has to be a certain consistency in the way we apply our interpretation of the law, so it does not become self-serving. So I appreciate your consistent position on how you see the need to respect the court, irrespective of whether the case goes for or against your client. Your principle is that when you are made aware of a court process, whether as somebody who stands to even lose or as an officer to execute a certain action, always respect the court, because for you, the rule of law, at the end of the day, it ends with the court. I think that's a very fair, consistent point. But you are not a politician, so the politicians do different things, and this is not just a Ghana issue. Generally, politicians, when they are pushed, they make a decision based on where they want to go. So 8:53. Apologies for a lot of law. I'm going to move away from Parliament because our coverage of this will begin at 8 p.m. with CNR on television, Channel 1. We will continue at 9 with an in-Parliament panel. We will do a lot of interesting things between 8 p.m. and 11 p.m. on Citi FM and Channel 1 television. So just tune in for all the build-up. We call it this the final build-up as we get into the swearing of the new Parliament, and then we continue on Tuesday with the swearing in of the new president. So all of that from 8 p.m. on all our platforms. When we come back after this interregnum, I'm going to talk about this commissioning of a hospital. You say it's inauguration. All right, so this is a different angle.
We don't want us to discuss who will be the next speaker.
No, I'll come to that. No, we will do all of that. We'll do all of that in the 8 p.m. show. I just feel like
we need to gather momentum.
No, but how can a company write a letter warning our president? I think no, the check of it. I think we have to deal with that matter.
But Bernard, how did our president also inaugurate a hospital that is full of weeds and not completed?
Well, it's not his job to decide whether it's weeded or not. His job is to commission what has.
No, so actually, when he saw that, he was then.
For me, I think there are two issues we have to go into. And maybe let's discuss that when we come back. The issue of commissioning last minute inaugurations, the issue of sovereignty of a country, respecting sanctity of law, and also the way our politics allows investors to play us against each other. Because I think that the tone of that letter was not right. So but because of the way we talk to ourselves, we give companies. Can he write to the Egyptian president and say that? Did you get it? I felt that, and we see we should not, because we are we think, oh, this is the last 2 days of Akufo-Addo government. I thought that letter was not well written.
It is the office that matters.
So even if the president has commissioned a project that you have not handed over to him,
there's a better way to go about it.
This is the head of state of a sovereign country. And you will not be here if they didn't commission you to do the building in the first place. So I feel like we should treat that issue from a national sovereignty perspective. Yes, there are legal issues that have to be dealt with. But I feel like the way we do our politics allows investors to treat our country in a certain way, which does not inure to our benefit, which is where I'm seeing. Because when Vivian showed, I said, a company wrote a letter and described our government as fine. If a government is being lawless, that's true. But I still think that for a private foreign entity to have the audacity to write a letter of that nature, it should concern all well-meaning Ghanaians, and we shouldn't sweep it under the carpet. We should not, because today it is Akufo-Addo, tomorrow it can be somebody else, and he is our president. All right, and the hospital is for us. So even if you haven't handed over to him, there are ways of going about it. Okay, you've not been paid. So are you the first company that you've not been paid in this world? We will not be the last. So I thought the letter was some way, but you pay your bills first.
So if you want a British degree at a fraction of the cost, you want a vibrant student experience in a community that equips you with useful employability skills, taking you one step closer to the career of your dreams, then we are talking about Lancaster University, Ghana. They even give you up to 50% scholarship for your degree. You'll be taught by the finest faculty who are trained to UK standards. For more information, visit our website www.lancaster.edu.gh. Email us admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Call 0209 607 008. Lancaster University, Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa. And snack time just got a whole lot better with Munchie Milk Shortcake. It's a unique blend of milky richness, carefully selected ingredients. Munchie Milk Shortcake is crafted to delight your taste buds. So if you're looking for pure satisfaction and authentic taste of original milky richness, grab a pack of CBL Munchie Milk Shortcake, Ghana's favorite biscuit brand, and indulge in milky goodness today. Then let me talk to you. If you're looking for litigation-free land, contact Royal Kingdom Estate, specialized in land acquisition, construction, design, property management, and more. They have properties in prime areas, Accra and Ebri, with land starting at 90,000 Ghana cedis. They offer flexible payment plans, affordable homes ranging from 2 bedrooms and premium furnished apartments for short rentals are available in East Airport. So visit the airports, their office at Cantonments, Upside Soul Clinic International School. Call these numbers 055 755 5909 or 0272 778880. Send an email info@Royal Kingdom Estate. Royal Kingdom Estate, building communities, nurturing dreams.
Send us your comment 054 998 6996. What is your attitude towards 2025? I haven't asked you yet, Caleb. I'll come to you on this.
Sure.
I'm very relaxed. I don't need a big start to end well. As I said, you can start in a benign fashion but still end very powerfully. And I'm focused more on disciplining myself than just exciting myself with motivation. But that's just on the side. Parliament is going to be exciting tonight. We're bringing you live coverage of the dissolution of the 8th Parliament. That starts at 10 a.m. live on Channel 1 television, parts on Citi FM as well. And then the birthing of the 9th Parliament, it begins technically at 11 p.m. We will start our coverage at 8 p.m. with CNR and continue till 12:30 a.m. I'll be there, Richard will be there, Solomon Adonu will be there, Vivian Kaluko will be there. We have a very big panel. We'll be discussing from the floor. So we will be in Parliament tonight. And then tomorrow morning, we will be at the Independence Square. So a lot of interesting things are happening. Sky says the new government should prioritize the welfare of citizens and govern with an awareness of the challenges people face. And they should eschew profligacy. We'll come back and take your comments on all of that. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Cleanse hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleanse for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleanse your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Are you hoping to start university this January? If you want a British degree from a world-class university at a fraction of the cost, then join Lancaster University Ghana in Accra. With a diverse student community, vibrant campus life, and up to 50% scholarship to support your study, Lancaster University Ghana provides you with a world-class education that creates endless possibilities globally. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Apply to join Lancaster University Ghana, where learners become leaders. Admissions are currently open for our January 2025 intake. Apply now for our foundation program. For more information, contact us at +233 030 221 8989 or send an email to admissions@lancaster.edu.gh. Lancaster University Ghana, the only British university campus in West Africa.
When you hear that sound, it can only mean one thing. It's the sound of excitement, the sound of milky goodness. It's the unmistakable sound of rich, creamy deliciousness. The sound that lets you know that the original milky richness awaits. The milky richness you can find in every bite of Munchie Milk Shortcake.
With its unique blend of milky richness and carefully selected ingredients, Munchie Milk Shortcake is crafted from an original age-old recipe to delight your taste buds. If you're looking for pure satisfaction and the authentic taste of original milky richness, it's time to grab a pack of your favorite biscuit, Munchie Milk Shortcake, today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Make life easier with Sigma Appliances. Yeah. Your excellent go-to choice for Sigma Appliances.
From air conditioners, fridges, freezers, washing machines, small appliances, and more, Sigma Appliances has them all. Visit Platinum Impex on the Sprinters Road behind Okadeco. For wholesale, call 030-280-1555 or WhatsApp +233 55 6444. Visit platinumimpex.net.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation. The Citi Breakfast Show. Rise above the noise.
In his life, it is a
So it's 9:06. Effective Living series begins on Wednesday. Today and tomorrow are very heavy with parliamentary coverage. Tomorrow's swearing in as well will be live on this station, so we don't want to it's a once in every 4 years kind of thing, so we want you to enjoy that. But we have 5 weeks in January. January is very long already, and this year is 5 weeks, so good luck if you've spent all your money.
The money finish.
Well, God will supply.
Oh my God, amen.
Send us your thoughts on 054-998-6996. How are you approaching the year? What are expectations for the year? And also, what are your thoughts on the legal gymnastics going on in relation to the outstanding seats? As we speak, MPP has 88 parliamentary seats, NDC has 183, and there are 4 independent. Ablekuma North is yet to be determined. We don't know if the 3 MPs, Okankwe Central, Tema Central, Techiman South, will be sworn in or not. According to the NDC, they filed a process which they believe means that the swearing in should wait until the matter is properly determined. We've been discussing that. Caleb, help me with some comments.
Bernard, ask the lawyer why they are just using technicalities. Were there not infractions during the collations that declared the NDC PCs as elected? Hasn't he or the NDC leadership seen the videos of incomplete collation and EC officials being forced to declare results? Kofi Ntema is asking. Bernard, it seems the EC didn't do its work very well, and the court is now correcting EC's inability. So I think we should now look at the court. Frank from Tesano wants the courts to organize elections. Cannot be. But is it not the same Gary who rushed to court to prevent the Asin North from being sworn in? Today he says no one can do it. Elam from Tema. But is it standard democratic practice for the life of Parliament to end at midnight? I always look at the level of stress of these MPs. The level of stress these MPs have to endure, particularly when we have a swearing in the following morning. Is this something a constitutional amendment can cure? Pakwesi is asking from Sunyani. Bernard, speaking the truth to power is not pleasant in any way. The essence of democracy is in freedom of speech, which has been in chains for the past 8 years. The company also has their reputation to protect, and what better way than not to be sacrificed on the altar of cheap political points? Okay, you are referring to the Sewa Hospital and the developments from same. But while I do not condone the tone of the letter, does that not suggest a symbiotic and familiar relationship between the contractors and the office of the president? This is JT in airport asking.
All right. Caleb, I'll let you find the letter for me before we go, and I also go to Kumasi because there are 3 big hospitals. Komfanochi is the biggest hospital in Ashanti region. Then there's a Parliamentary hospital which has been commissioned. These are 9 Eurojust hospitals that started under Kufuor. They were not finished, and I remember when we did the campaign for finishing abandoned projects, the Sewa hospital was one of those.
Yes.
You're right. Now, I'm surprised that it's still not been finished, because how do you begin Agenda 111 and still not finish the ones you've started? So we'll speak to the government about this. But we also find the letter quite interesting. I actually wanted you to retrieve the letter and read it, because it's a very strongly worded letter. And then maybe what I'll do is I'm going to read the story we wrote about the inauguration.
And then I bring
to give it the context. Then you can bring the letter to us. So this story is from the Ashanti region, written by Letitia Osei of City News, and it's basically a story informing the public on the commissioning of the Sewa facility. And so it says the President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo on Saturday, January 11, 2025, commissioned, Sky says the word is inaugurated, the 250-bed Ashanti Regional Hospital and a 50-bed infectious disease center in Sewa in Bosomtwe of Ashanti. The Ashanti Regional Hospital in Sewa will be the 3rd largest hospital in the region after the Komfanochi Teaching Hospital and the recently completed Afari Military Hospital. The hospital is expected to ease pressure on the Komfanochi Hospital, which is Ghana's 2nd largest hospital after Koblebu Teaching Hospital. Together with the 50-bed infectious disease center, one of the 12 facilities built with the COVID-19 funding across the country to manage infectious diseases. The facility, which now stands as the biggest regional hospital across the country, serves as a vital lifeline for the region, bridging gaps in healthcare delivery and ensuring that people of the region have unimpeded access to universal health coverage and improved health outcomes. This modern facility is fully equipped with an administration block, outpatient department, physiotherapy, gynecology, wards, sterilization, intensive care unit, maternity and delivery suites, lab, pharmacy, theater complex, laundry, and a medical gas plant for the production of medical gases. The project is part of the Eurojet Hospital project initiated by the former President John Ajako Kufuor in 2008. In all, 7 of these 9 hospitals, which were abandoned following the expiration of the Kufuor government in 2009, have been completed by the Akufo-Addo government. The 9 Eurojet hospitals are the 500-bed military hospital at Afari in Kumasi, the 160-bed Wa Regional Hospital, the 250-bed Ashanti Regional Hospital at Sewa that we just referenced, and the 100-bed Gan East Municipal Facility at Kwabenya. In addition to these, there's a 560-bed hospital at Tepa, a 60-bed hospital at Konongo, 60-bed at Chifopraso and Madina as part of the project. The president charged the workers and the chiefs and the people of the area to ensure that strict maintenance practices are adhered to. And aside from the infectious disease which was commissioned today at Sewa, President also commissioned another infectious disease center at Kumasi South in Chirapatre. I hope I mentioned that right. Chief of Sewa, so the chief was fully there. Nana Kweku Amankwa Sakode was grateful to the president for ensuring that the project, which began by President Kufuor, has now been fully completed. And now there's a plaque. This plaque was unveiled by His Excellency Nana Addo Akufo-Addo, President of the Republic of Ghana, on the occasion of the commissioning of the Kumasi South Hospital Infectious Disease Center on January 4, 2025. He expressed his gratitude to the government for the appointment of Dr. Osei Chum, the Minister for Education, and Simon Osei Mensah, Ashanti Regional Minister, who are both from the Bosomtwi area. So there's a photo of the president flanked by the regional minister, the chief, and his advisor on health, Dr. Ansian Sari, basically cutting the tape to commission the hospital. All right, so that was the story. Caleb, now tell me about the letter.
So, press release for immediate release dated 5th January 2025 concerns over the commissioning of Ashanti Regional 250-bed hospital in Sewa from the office of Dr. Said Diraz, Group Chairman, Eurojet Invest SA. The recent commissioning of the 250-bed Ashanti Regional Hospital in Sewa, Bosomtwi District, by President Nana Akufo-Addo. Where are we?
Oh, Caleb, don't use technology to. We need. That's why I need a paper.
No, I got it.
You found it?
Yes, please.
All right.
So good. The recent commissioning of the 250-bed Ashanti Regional Hospital in Sewa, Bosomtwi District by President Nana Addo Akufo-Addo on Saturday, 4th January 2025, raises serious concerns regarding legal and contractual obligations. While we acknowledge the importance of healthcare infrastructure in the Ashanti region, we must firmly state that the commissioning of the 250-bed facility was conducted in direct violation of the terms of our contract. It is important to stress that Eurojet Invest SA has not yet received full payment for the construction of the hospital. Furthermore, the project remains incomplete and has not yet been officially handed over to the government. As the contractor, we retain possession of the site until the project is handed over correctly and legally. We categorically did not grant permission to any party to enter the site for commissioning purposes. Dr. Said Derez, Group CEO and Chairman of Eurojet Invest SA, expressed his concerns as follows. Quote, Eurojet did not give anyone permission to enter the site. Possession is still ours until we hand over in the correct and legal manner. He further emphasized, quote, this is a breach of the contract. We haven't handed over, and every step should be taken to claim damages against all previous commissioning because, by this action, the President is implying that we could have commissioned these hospitals without incurring any cost on our part. We should clarify that the commissioning or inauguration, as I would have it, was conducted without the contractor's knowledge and is therefore invalid It goes on to say the hospital remains incomplete with several critical tasks outstanding, including completion of the hospital's power stations, which is delayed due to non-availability of the power source from the government of Ghana. 2. Installation of major medical equipment which requires a permanent power connection. 3. Repairs to the landscape and buildings caused by the prolonged work suspension due to delayed payments from the government of Ghana. And finally, final finishing touches on staff housing and more. The fact that the government proceeded with the inauguration or commissioning without consulting Eurojet raises concerns or questions about their adherence to legal protocols and the sanctity of contracts. The company which secured the funding for the hospital's construction was not consulted regarding their purported commissioning. Additionally, there was no representative from Eurojet present at the event, which accentuates our exclusion from a critical milestone in the project. We believe the government's actions constitute a serious breach of security concerning the hospital, entering the premises without our permission to undertake the commissioning, while the hospital remains incomplete and without the contractor being fully compensated, reflects a disregard for the law and contractual agreements. This situation represents a level of lawlessness that cannot be overlooked. Please find attached to this release photos of the current state of the hospital, which reinforces this statement. As we approach the transition of power in Ghana, we are left questioning the motives behind such an action. Why would an outgoing president engage in such illegality just 3 days before handing over office? We must stress that the timing of this commissioning raises concerns about the legitimacy of these actions taken and whether they serve any political agenda rather than the interests of citizens who rely on these healthcare facilities. It is fundamental for stakeholders, including the public, to understand the implications of these actions. The commissioning of the Ashanti Regional 250-bed hospital should be a moment of pride and achievement for all involved. However, it has instead become a source of contention and uncertainty. We urge the government to respect the rule of law and adhere to the contractual obligations it has entered into. We call upon the relevant authorities to investigate this matter thoroughly. The actions taken by the government not only undermine the integrity of the project, but also set a worrying precedent for future government contracts and projects. The people of the Ashanti region deserve better than to have their healthcare infrastructure embroiled in legal disputes and contractual violations. In conclusion, Eurojet the Invest SA remains committed to completing the Ashanti Regional 250-bed hospital to the highest standards and fulfilling our contractual obligations. We hope that this situation can be resolved amicably and that the government will recognize the importance of following due process in all its dealings. We are prepared to take all necessary steps to protect our rights and seek damages for any breaches of contract that have occurred. We appreciate the ongoing support from the community and stakeholders, and we will keep the public informed about any developments regarding this matter. Signed, truly yours, Said Dairais.
All right, so it's 19. Let me go to the Ashanti region and speak to our bureau chief Hafiz Tijani on the state of the hospital and the whole brouhaha concerning the inauguration. Hafiz, thanks for joining us. Happy New Year.
Same to you, boss.
So usually, as the bureau chief of the Citi branch in Ashanti, you would be part of this commissioning. Were you aware? Did you cover this initially? Did you know that the president was doing this commissioning on January 4?
So most of the media houses and my colleagues called me at about 4 p.m. to ask whether I was part of the president's call to commission or inaugurate the hospital. Then I was also taken aback. Then I had to make calls. My sources at the Ghana Health Service, and I was told that yes, the president was there to commission. And usually when you miss such a story, then you want to fall on other colleagues who at least can give you videos and pictures and audios to also cover your side of the story for your media house, and that was not done. And to date, you don't find any media house highlighting the commissioning. And usually with these programs, even the contractors involved would also invite the media house. The regional coordinating council will also be assigned by the government to invite the media house. And sometimes you have the Ministry of Health also inviting the media house. So I'm speaking about the Formina Hospital and the Kumeu Hospital when the president was in the region to inaugurate or commission some of these facilities The Ministry of Health had its media team. The government side also had its media team. The contractors also had its media team. And looking at the importance of the...
So you are saying that this seems to have happened on the blind side of at least the Ashanti Media Caucus. You're not aware.
Exactly.
Good. Now, when was the last time you visited this Sewa facility? And can you describe, if you did visit, how it looks?
So in August this year, we were there in the community because the assembly member in that area led the community members to demonstrate. Two issues had to be resolved before the commissioning or the full commissioning and operationalization of the Sewa Hospital. So one is the road network, the access road from Sewa to the hospital itself, and two is the power supply. And that was not done. So when the community people got the wind that there was going to be an alternative road or route that would be constructed by the government to the hospital, leaving the main Sewa township where the people are, the community which is named after the hospital, people moving from Sewa to the hospital. The road from Sewa to the hospital is not good. It's not in a very good shape. But the Yasi area where the government was trying to construct the road to link to the hospital as an alternative road, that was what the residents were protesting. And the state of the hospital, because the hospital has not been commissioned, because work is ongoing, you have the equipment sitting there, it has not been installed, you have the weeds taking over the place, you have other places, pavements have not been done, although pavements have been done at some of the places at the hospital, the compound of the hospital, but most of the places are unfinished. And the issue was that the last time we visited the facility with the Asantehene in March, who was concerned about the slow pace of the hospital, the work at the hospital. So he had to visit the ongoing renovation works at the Konfano Teaching Hospital. Then he proceeded to the Sewa Hospital. And then he told the regional health director at the time, Dr. Emmanuel Tunkran, to ensure that the facility was going to, they should write to the Minister of Energy. Napo was then, Dr. Matthew Poku Prempe was the Energy Minister then, that they should write a letter to him to inform him about the challenges of the hospital, which is delaying the operationalization or the opening of the hospital. That is the power situation. So you find the place being bushy because the workers there, though they go to work, but you don't find anyone trying to clear the weeds there. And most of the equipment were there, but they were not installed. And the power situation had stalled the opening of the hospital and the road situation. So these were the two issues that had delayed the opening of the hospital, and that is rendering it so bushy and the weeds taking over.
The company that wrote the letter also forwarded photos of the place, and it looks like there are still weeds. The place doesn't look ready, so it appears that not much has changed since this happened. Would you be going to the place this week? Because I suspect that will be one of the places you'll cover, because the president has commissioned the hospital, so hopefully it should be working. The company says the hospital is not ready, so I'm sure you should be on your way to Sewa to tell us what is happening there this morning.
Exactly.
All right, so then we'll speak to you when you get there to tell us the state of the place. Thank you for talking to us, Hafiz.
Thank you.
Hafiz Tijani is our Ashanti Regional Bureau Chief. Quite an interesting story, Caleb. This is the company saying the president shouldn't have even entered the location because they said it's not ready.
You know, usually when the president commissions such projects, photos and images will be shared on his Facebook page and his social media platforms. When you visit Nana Akufo-Addo on Facebook, you will see when he was commissioning the Accra STEM Academy. This was 27th December. Thereafter, he shared condolences with Jimmy Carter. He basically messaged, and the next thing was the New Year message and all of that. Then you come to the State of the Nation. So you don't even see.
So you don't. It doesn't seem
on his.
It doesn't appear to be an official.
And I think the handlers of the president have disappointed him
because
ideally, when there is a commissioning happening.
But the chief was there.
Yes.
The minister for the region was there.
Yes.
And the president's advisor on health was there, although the minister for health was not there.
And then we see the photos of Sewa as it is now. It's like an abandoned site. It has weeds all over the place. I don't know which part of the site they took the president to go inaugurate, because usually sometimes they will clear some place, create a scene and give it the impression that it's done. And so I think that the president may have been in the region for other things and they probably sent him there.
You know, as someone who has
emceed
presidential events, I'm very sure the president is not aware of, because what will happen is an advance team will come in, they will prepare the place, and then they will show the president where to pass. So as for the president,
they can limit where
they will show you. You know, it's very rarely, and
but
maybe
it's deceptive.
If this was like a Rawlings, he may have said he wants to tour the facility. But I'm sure they knew had a busy itinerary. They will say, "Oh, by the way, on your way back, you will commission the Sewa Hospital, cut the saw, talk to the chief, and then move." You get it? Because typically for a hospital of this size, 250 bed is a big hospital. You would have expected that they will get him to actually tour the facility. They will brief him. So from what I know, when you do such events, they plan it such that the president will come in, the chiefs and people will be sitting there waiting. He will probably be given a pre-inauguration briefing. He will proceed to give his speech. Other people will speak. So for a hospital like this, the contractor will speak, the regional minister will speak, the health minister will speak, the chief will speak, and then the president will speak. When he's done, he will cut the ribbon, and then he will tour the facility. That's generally what happens. From what we see, there was no facility tour. I don't think there were major speeches.
There was no media coverage.
Although we heard that the chief thanked the president, we didn't hear the minister for health there. We didn't see the Dr. Insiansa say anything.
Did they erect his plaque there?
No, but the plaque was there. Not the statue, but there was a plaque.
Yeah, no.
The plaque where they write. So Caleb, it couldn't have been an afterthought. If a plaque is, because a plaque is concrete.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah, and they wrote that this hospital was.
And so Bernard,
so there are two levels of this, and you see, it is completely unacceptable politicians going this path. You know, in other jurisdictions, when these things open, you have a sense of who becomes the very first patient of the hospital.
Yeah,
these are things that are sometimes even shown that, oh, this Marine who was brought back from, say, Afghanistan with this particular injury, you know, is brought for this hospital to do some repairs on it. So he becomes the very first, and that will go into the records. These things, some of them, they don't have beds. No nurses have been recruited. There is the equipment for their work. Nothing has been done. It's just empty shell. Then we say, oh, we have opened this hospital for people to take medications and all kinds of things. We do this just so that, oh, I'm getting out of power, or I want you to vote for me again. So let me show you that this is what I'm doing, or I want my name to be on the plaque, because once the plaque is there, 100 years, 200 years from now, the reference will be that you are the president, or you were the president as of the time that we were inaugurating the hospital. Of course, the other side of it is also the battles that we are running over, whether it started in Kufuor's time, whether Mills continued it, whether Mahama did something about it, and whether Akufo-Addo has fully completed it. I think we should take Ghanaians more seriously. if you have not finished it, you have not finished it. Look at the Bank of Ghana that they built, a new facility.
What is still ongoing?
We went on there, they did the opening ceremony, giddy, telling people they are moving in. As we speak, they are still doing work on it. We appreciate the fact that you want your name on it, but we should show some respect to the people of Ghana. The Ubechebi Lamte circle.
Yeah.
Didn't they open it recently? If you go there, 5 days ago when I was passing there, people were still doing some work giddy. If you say you have opened it, the expectation is that everything has been done. And
but can everything be done? Because, for example, I used Flower Pot yesterday, and they were now putting the barriers. You know how the what do you call it? Like when you build a road, the crash barriers were now being erected. I think they are now even doing some of the street lights.
So it means that there are even safety concerns before it got.
And then when you go to Tema, as for Tema, they are working. The Tema interchange was inaugurated before election. They are working as if they are in week 3. Like they are working.
Bernard, when you drove on the car, but were there road markings on that?
Now they have.
Okay.
Now they have. But the Tema one, they are working. Like they are working. Like they don't finish crowd.
We have to redefine inauguration and commission because after we have done, the still work goes on.
When you open it, when you symbolically open it to traffic, what you are saying is that
fit for purpose.
It is fit for purpose.
Yes.
All the safety issues have been properly addressed, and that we can now use it.
All right, fair enough. But having said that, what do you make of the tone of the Eurojet letter and also an interview we granted? I don't know if you can retrieve the voice for me, Shiba. I think the tone is not right.
Completely.
I mean, the fact that so we you see, Ghanaians are interesting. We prefer to say what we want in our own community, but for an outsider to
don't come and tell us by
yeah, you can't. Right? How can you've been given a project? Fine, Eurojet is a company the government entered a contract with to provide hospitals. You've done some, so you've benefited from the government of Ghana. To describe the actions of the government as avoidable lawlessness, I think that is. I find that very insulting. I don't know about you,
but Bernard, really, we need to know who set the president up for this embarrassment. Because also, if it's out there in the news that the president has come to inaugurate the Siwa hospital and the people go there and they find out that they've been scammed, that's also not being truthful. That's not being honest.
And the man says he's old, he's not being paid. So left from a legal perspective, is he right? It seems, look, based on the contract, there has to be some payments before we hand over the project. The site is not safe. So to even go there is an encroachment. The site is in our custody until we officially hand it over to you. So if you go there and purport to do an inauguration when we have not finished the process and you have not paid us, they are even accusing the team of encroaching. Basically, you are not supposed to be there. From legally, they don't have a point.
Well, they have a point and they do not have a point. Look, if you enter into an agreement, of course, I've not read the agreement, I've not seen the agreement, I don't know the specifics of the agreement, and I will make my comments having issued this caveat. There are specific expectations on both sides that you provide resources for the hospital to be built for you, or that the person building the hospital will provide his own resources, build the hospital, in some cases operate it and then transfer it, or is turnkey, build it, hand it over upon completion of all the necessary whatever. I have not seen the agreement, as I said, so I don't know what is there in. But if it is the case that you were contracted to build a hospital, the hospital has been built, except that you have not completed the works, and you have difficulty with the government allowing the inauguration to go on, there are ways of addressing those concerns. Where you have not been paid, there are ways of raising those concerns and ensuring that, you are paid. And if there is a violation of the contract or the terms of the contract, there are ways of resolving those disputes. The way to do it is not to issue a stinker in the nature we have seen, blasting the president in a very unacceptable tone. That is completely unacceptable. The president may have done, or the people handling him may have misled him onto the path that he went on to inaugurate this facility with all the problems that everybody's talking about. That we should be equally prepared to criticize the president. and the people handling him, that they did not do a thorough job. If the facts in the public domain are anything to go by. But that doesn't mean that merely because you have been contracted or commissioned to build this facility,
you can't talk to
cannot talk to the president and the people of Ghana by heart like that, merely because the government is taking you out. Could he have written this letter 2 years ago if the president had gone there?
So he's looking at the fact that the man is about to leave office.
So
exactly, and he talks about transition and all of those things in the letter.
Yes.
Look, at a certain level, when you are reading law, diplomacy, and how to deal with institutions operating in various countries, and you run those institutions, there are things you learn. Diplomacy is part of it. So even if you are agreed, assuming that all of these things you are claiming are valid, there's a way to communicate.
The Egyptian ambassador to call the president to have a conversation and also notify the incoming president of the violation.
Yes, there are ways of handling this.
So maybe they are playing to the gallery because they feel Akufo-Addo is unpopular, he's leaving office, and they probably want to send indication to the new government that these guys owe us. So maybe they are trying to prepare the ground for the new government to pay them. That's the possible only logical reason why they would.
But here's the thing. It is not about Akufo-Addo. It is the president of the Republic of Ghana. Yeah. That office remains. It is the only constant in the equation there.
Yeah.
You come and occupy it tomorrow. It is the office of president.
Yeah.
And the respect you accorded is the respect you extend to the good people of Ghana, because it is a symbol of our collective aspirations. He leads that effort.
I remember a story in the Bible where somebody thought because David's enemy was Saul, he was coming to announce the death of Saul to David with glee, thinking that David will reward him. And when he came to do the announcement, he even claimed to have been the one to put the sword to Saul. He says, you are not afraid to kill a king of Israel, a position I'm coming to occupy. So he made sure the guy was executed on the basis of the guy's own testimony. And for me, I think we have to separate politics from governance in this way, that the incoming team should take a very serious view of even the way this company is conducting itself, because I think it's very, it's not right.
Yeah, you have legitimate views. Yeah. There are processes for if the contract is breached, go to court. Yeah. If there is a term in the agreement that says alternative dispute resolution, engage those processes. If they owe you money, ensure that the money is paid and in appropriate time. If they have not done that, there are other processes to engage. If it calls for arbitration, there's a way to deal with it. But to issue a stinker in the language that we have seen
is not right.
Completely unacceptable, and nobody should condone it.
Okay. We wait to see what the Ministry of Health will say. And by the way, even the last day of a government does not mean they are not in government.
Yeah.
And the fact that the action they did was not the best still, as Sky has said eloquently, does not justify the way the communication was done. But we certainly need to hear from the government on why this inauguration stroke commissioning was allowed. But they also need to situate it within the context of other commissions. So whilst we talk about the tone, I also think that there's a certain sense in which the government has brought this upon itself. You know, you cannot take people for granted for a number of years and then in the dying embers of administration hurriedly commission semi-finished projects with the hope of getting votes. And now that there's no votes to be gotten, it's more like looking for legacy. Do you get it? Governance is a continuum. Paul started, Apollos watered, God brings the increase. Kufuor started, Mahama continued, Akufo-Addo finishes. For most projects, that's how it's going to be, because 4 years is very short to finish anything. And I think the idea of wanting to put your signature on semi-finished projects should also not be allowed, because what that does is that it gives the government a certain fait accompli, which is not really the case. So you commission a project, we move to something else, and the people are not benefiting from the project. And for a hospital is a very delicate facility. Remember when we were shouting that UGMC should be open, they were told that the same government said, there are things that need to be done for the hospital to be commissioned. So you cannot force us to commission something we've not finished. Remember, we were on SA. In fact, there was a gentleman who went in a one-man protest against the first lady was holding, was delivering a speech somewhere, and he held a placard and said, "Open UGMC." Of course, he was bundled out of the place because the government didn't feel that he did the right thing. So how can a government that was insisting on getting the right thing done in 2017 in 2024 then decide that even though the project is not finished, we'll commission it and put somebody's name on it.
You see, that's what I said earlier. It is disrespect for the people. When you open these things, what you are saying in effect is that they are ready for use, right? And that's why I made reference to what happens elsewhere. Someone symbolically going there, the first 100 admissions are done. It is to show that, look, this thing, we have tested it. It is working. But it is just to say, oh, my name should be on it. Look, President Mills, God bless his soul, showed us how it can be done. The Millennium Challenge project, John Kufuor did a negotiation together with Paco Sindum, and they brought the money, $547 million US, if my memory serves me correctly. I was at the side where
money is big.
The money is big, Sheikh Isiku and all of that. When they started the project, John Kufuor, the MPP lost power, but the project continued and was done and completed under the Mills administration. When President Mills was called upon to go and open the road to traffic, he didn't go there alone. He took with him John Ejekum Kufuor, the former president of the republic, and together they cut the tape or the ribbon, if that's the correct term, to signal the formal opening of that stretch of road to traffic.
Yeah.
By which time they had completed almost everything that needed to have been done. Of course, there were concerns about bridges and all of those.
Mills is different.
No, but you see, that should be the standard.
Mills as a person, quite clearly from those who work with him, he always had this way of doing things that many people said was different from the typical politician.
But you see,
the typical politician wants to get the credit and basically to hell with his opponent.
It is wrong.
We have to change that.
It is just
we
wrong.
need a new style.
We need a new style. Look, if you give the credit to whoever started it.
So I assume that, but if you look at the president of Akufo-Addo, you think that if NDC finishes some of their Agenda 1 projects under Mahama, will they invite him?
Well, I don't see, if they want to keep to the script as written by Professor Mills, then that is the right thing to do. Or the plaque could easily read, built by Akufo-Addo, inaugurated
by, but they will say Akufo-Addo didn't give them that respect. Because, for example, the Pokwas interchange, they started it. When they finished it, of course, they changed the design and made it 4-tier. It was not part. They even claimed that the Flower Pot interchange was started by Mahama, finished by Akufo-Addo, but they were not invited. Yeah. So they will also say, well, when we finish an Agenda 1 project, I don't even know if they'll keep it as that Agenda 1.
That is not how we build nations.
You're right. I mean, that's what I think for us as a democracy, we have to resolve the difference. We have to differentiate between party and head of state issues, party president. So I think we have pushed politics to its absurd limit that it interferes with nation building, which is why I was saying to you that in the State of the Nation address of the president in his last one, I think he should have focused more on long-term development than responding to the NDC's taunts, right? Because you can tell that in the course of the speech, the minority side was taunting him and he was sort of responding. Having had 8 years at the helm of affairs and coming in at 2017, he could have chosen to focus on longer-term structural issues to put in context the 8 out of the 30 years of Fourth Republic and the 8 out of the 60-something years of independence. I felt like that's, some countries learn how to do that better than we do. I think we allow the politics to permeate to a point where even in our governance, we are still having political calculations. And it's almost like, I listened to somebody say, he says, you cannot have a man work with only half a brain. When somebody wins power, everybody from the other side, we don't want to work with you anymore. And everything you start has to be bastardized. It's a very wrong interpretation of governance, which I think Mahama has a chance to correct. Because if he criticizes Akufo-Addo of being divisive and being my way or the highway, and he's been voted overwhelmingly as Mahama 2025, I think he needs to govern with consensus on the economy. Because again, in opposition, he was advising Akufo-Addo to call a national dialogue on the economy long before the IMF. And he said, look, we are already broke. Call a national economic forum and let's bring all the best ideas to move the nation forward. That's this advice. So I expect this coming president not to use the same approach.
You see, it's a valid point that you have made, and I back you on that. And I hope that the new government will change course. The reason I'm saying is that there are already signs of some of these missteps. Let me give you just 2 examples. So yesterday, the special aide to the president-elect issues a statement and says that the president-elect had mandated the NDC in Parliament to nominate Speaker Bagwin for the position of Speaker. Now, if you read Article 95 of the Constitution, it just says that, the MPs elect, they elect their own Speaker of Parliament, right? There's no role there for some, external, authority, right? It is not the job of the president to be determining who gets elected as Speaker. Of course, behind the scenes, there are consultations.
But doesn't the party have a role?
No, hold on. Behind the scenes, I'm talking about the text of the Constitution. The text is clear. The people who have been elected to serve as MPs elect their Speaker. There's no room for any external force to come in.
But what has happened is not an imposition necessarily, because you can say this is who I prefer, so vote for him.
No, you see, that is where the problem is.
What problem is there?
Because we're talking about separation of powers. You want to delineate the boundaries clearly.
But he's not yet president.
You don't want to, you see, so that is why
he is the leader of the party. And to the extent that one of the previous rulings also suggests that the party has a role.
Yeah.
So I'm coming on. If the party has a role in making that decision, he is the president-elect by head of his party. Can they not?
I drew your attention to the language of the Constitution. Article 95 is clear. That job is reserved for only the people who have been elected to serve as members of Parliament. They elect the Speaker. The proposal, the nomination is done by one of them, seconded by another.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm saying that this is not. I don't think this is even related to the discussion we're having in the past.
No, it is.
How is it related?
The reason is that, look, you do not want executive intrusion into Parliament, right? I have made the concession that, yes, over the years, there is always consultation behind the scene. Oh, the president is uncomfortable with this person. All of these discussions are done behind the scenes. But on the day...
Why don't you bring it to the fore so it's more transparent?
Because then you are creating an appendage of the executive in Parliament.
By suggesting that this is the person the president wants.
Exactly, because what you then create is that you may have a speaker who becomes beholden, who is now beholden to the president because the president issues an open letter, which he's now, obliged to respond to and say nice things about.
So you think he could have done that without putting it out publicly?
Exactly, and also what it does is to railroad the NDC guys to support a particular cause.
But the majority leader in Parliament, even on his feet last week, he said he urged the NDC side to maintain Speaker Babin. He did it in the open.
Which he's entitled to do on the floor as a member of Parliament and urging them to do what he believes.
And the president-elect has just...
the
president that has listened to the majority leader by doing what he's asked.
No.
Because Afeni Makin said he hopes NDC will maintain Babin. Mahama writes a letter to the NDC and says, we think you should choose this guy.
It is wrong.
To write the letter to formalize it.
Yes, what you do is do your consultation behind the scenes. If you want to whip them, you call them, and I understand they will be meeting today at 4 p.m. thereabout. Call them at that meeting, you can have your own internal discussions with them.
Okay.
And it is all behind the scenes. But the moment you put pen to paper, it's never happened before, as far as I've been covering Parliament, a letter written that go and do this.
Maybe they are trying to avoid confusion and also the uncertainty. You remember 2021, the indication was that it was going to initially be Doche. Then we heard that in the last minute the decision changed to Okwe, for which reason some people in MPP may not have been happy, and therefore when it was put to a vote, NDC saw opportunity and nominated Bagman, and therefore he won. So the point was that if it had been the one that they all were expecting, they may have gone along with it. When that change was made from Doche to Okwe, and of course we were told again that the president then was in preference of Doche, and for some reason when it came for the nomination, Okwe's name was brought. So maybe these guys are saying, for the avoidance of such a scenario, And to prevent drama, let's publicly put out the name of the party's preference. Okay, so again, I'm not doing legal here, I'm doing politics now. I'm talking about preventing a situation where there could be confusion. All right, because this Doche Okwe issue, a lot of people think that Babi may not have become speaker.
Oh yeah, I mean,
if
as far as I
the
understand,
president's, again, I stand to be corrected here, original preference, all right, or be it behind the scenes. So I'm saying, fine, you are arguing that for the sake of separation of powers, so that it doesn't appear as though Parliament is being directed. But I'm saying that these guys have not yet been sworn in.
Yes.
So to all intents and purposes, they are representing NDC. They have not yet become substantive MPs.
Yeah, but
so the president-elect is acting as head of the party to say, after consulting the rank and file of the party, this is the man we want.
No.
So we are urging you to vote for him.
No, it is wrong, Bernard. You see, what it does, as I said, is to create the impression of a president who is directing Parliament as to, or parliamentarians what to do, what not to do. What happens if MPs go to the chamber today, and after whoever, maybe the majority leader nominates Honorable Bagbin, and another member of the NDC rises and says, no, I think that this lady is capable of doing the job, and therefore that lady, I have the consent of the
and so they should vote.
You see, then you are undermining in that case already on the first day the authority of the president. The president has given direction.
But what authority? You are the one who is saying that the president shouldn't direct them. So nothing prevents somebody from nominating somebody else.
No,
and then they will all vote. So wouldn't it be nice if they go and vote for somebody else?
No, you see that. So
that will be asserting themselves, right?
No, but what signal does it send to the good people?
It sends a signal that they are men of their own.
So
yeah, so I don't think that's
so. And if that doesn't happen now, then it means that
so let's see. Maybe MPP may nominate. NDC can nominate somebody else, and then they will vote.
Happening. I think Speaker Bagby will.
Let's take a break,
and let me say congratulations to him.
But he's already, he has accepted the thing. He has accepted the thing. So
you see,
we'll come back.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Protect yourself from germs and bacteria with confidence. Clean's hand soap effectively kills 99.9% of germs with every use. Perfect for all your hand washing moments throughout the day. Available in a variety of variants and delightful flavors. Choose Cleans for yourself, your family, and friends. Make Cleans your daily essential. The GC brand. It's all about you. This advert is FDA approved.
Ghana Post, the most affordable delivery option for food and merchandise from Ghana to everywhere in the world. Connect with us today and see for yourself. Ghana Post, smart, secure deliveries.
Coming package, no. In less than 5 days, Ghana Post, they make life they big. Ghana Post will deliver to you wherever you are in the world.
When you hear that sound, it can only mean one thing. It's the sound of excitement, the sound of milky goodness. It's the unmistakable sound of rich, creamy deliciousness. The sound that lets you know that the original milky richness awaits. The milky richness you can find in every bite of Munchie Milk Shortcake.
With its unique blend of milky richness and carefully selected ingredients, Munchie Milk Shortcake is crafted from an original age-old recipe to delight your taste buds. If you're looking for pure satisfaction and the authentic taste of original milky richness, it's time to grab a pack of your favorite biscuit, Munchie Milk Shortcake, today.
This advert is FDA approved.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Only about them from us and power.
A few quick comments on this and other matters that have come up. For some of them have come in relation to the commissionings, and some have come in relation to this matter. Good morning, Bernard. This is from Neil and Van der Poel. Thanks for the candid discussion on the behavior of our outgoing president. The government's behavior of deception and cunning by commissioning uncompleted projects must be condemned. If a project is commissioned or inaugurated, it means it is open to the public. How can you commission a project yet to be handed over to you by the contractor? What about liabilities that occur after your so-called commissioning? Almost all these projects commissioned leading up to the elections are uncompleted. Who are they deceiving? That's his view. Here's another one that seems to agree with you. Good morning. Akufo-Addo is the de jure president of Ghana today, which means president by law. JDM is the de facto president. His words and conduct matter more as the real president of the country today. He should have been more subtle in the support of Bagbin. So this is the view a listener is expressing, essentially saying what you are saying, that he should not be seen. So he should do it secret. He should do it secret.
Yeah, a lot of things happening.
Better with insincerity and dishonesty engulfing particularly the politicians, bureaucrats and technocrats in these election matters and many other issues, I get the sense that there will be a few Ghanaians in heaven. I'm sad and very afraid. That's the same insult they did attack Radi for going all the way to commission a statue instead of a hospital. All these practices should not be entertained. Bernard, good morning and happy new year from Robert Antieku, UK. We are battling with the snow this morning. Sorry, I don't agree with Sky. Why? If I'm not respected in my own house by my wife and children, can they accuse someone of disrespecting me? This contractor probably has been listening and following the way Ghanaians disrespect the president and did the same, knowing nothing can happen to him. I think that point is also valid, that we should learn to accord the presidency with a certain position that does not make it cheap for people to write letters like this. How would you have felt as a business if any of these facilities you built for the accountable spillage victims without the presence of anyone from Citi or Channel 1? Why would the state commission an uncompleted hospital facility that contractors have not been fully paid for and now the contractors team was present? Let's be real. Alright, the difference between this is that there is an agreement between Eurojet and government. Channel 1, we didn't have any agreement with the Judicial Assembly. We just built the thing. It was just a verbal, you get it. We built the facility, they were aware. So if they go and commission without us, the error would have been more grievous than this is something they've partnered to do and one side has gone to commission without the other. But I get your point. Bernard, have you seen the state of the hospital which it was inaugurated? I think the president brought it upon himself because he failed to respect himself. How do you inaugurate the project that is overgrown with weeds? This is Samuel. Eurojet or whatever the name is may be right. Bernard, they also have some reputation protect. they shouldn't be shortchanged like this. The tone of that letter may be unacceptable, but the presidency called for it. President-elect Mahama must deal with the issue later. This is Gamma from Ashali Botre. Well, starting Wednesday, Effective Living series begins with Apioko and Caleb Kuda as they engage our guests on various aspects of life. Personal reset is week 1. Resetting your personal economy, week 2.
Yeah,
resetting your health, week 3.
Yeah,
resetting the business, calibrating and remodeling and rebuilding is week 4.
Sure.
Effective Living series is brought to you by Hallmark Cafe. Delight in every sip and bite. Powered by Channel 1 Television. After the news at 10, we would be covering the last days or the last day of the 8th Parliament as we build up to the first or the of the 9th. All of that on Citi FM and Channel 1 Television. Caleb, what's in the news?
Bernard, Eurojet Invest threatens legal